Choo-choo! Are you okay?
No.
Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9.
I even had to level down to account for it.
ESPN Radio. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. And the Noles are in the Elite Eight. Woo-hoo. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but sometimes you do. So that's why we post all 3 hours of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. That's a good thing. Go there, get caught up at your leisure. Email the show if you want. Drunkenly, a lot of you did. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameron Show. It's also at 979 ESPN Radio, where you can watch the show being periscoped.
Peer into the periscope.
Also on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're giddy, we're tired, but we're not, and we're excited, and it's all good because the Noles are to the Elite Eight for the first time in 25 years. And they did so by absolutely dominating Gonzaga last night. It was something to behold. No, I did not think this team was going to make a run to the Elite Eight. I thought they were a pretty good team who had a chance to go back to the tournament, and when they accomplished that, I really did get excited because I thought it was necessary, as I've said all season long, in sustaining momentum for the program as a whole. I like this team a lot. I like this coaching staff, and I'm happy for their success. But you couldn't have predicted, nor could I, that this run was coming. And as you'll hear a lot today, in my mind, this is an awful lot to do with the fact that, yeah, they've played well, they've played with confidence, and they've coached extremely well. But they have embraced defense. They really have. They are so active in the passing lanes. They make everything so damn difficult for other teams. Teams are having to take really difficult shots. You watch this group now from top to bottom. Everybody's contributing. They all buy in, and they certainly are playing like a team who night in, night out believes they belong, believes they can win, believes they will win, believe in the guy next to them. It's all there. It's all on display. It's all something to behold, something to embrace, and something to celebrate. Congratulations, Leonard Hamilton and staff. Congratulations to these kids. They have not won these games via fluke. This has not been absurd, over-the-top, treeing, playing above your head, doing things you never do. No. They have won these games with an amount of grit and toughness and skill and togetherness that they deserve. They deserve to win the games. They've outplayed their opponents. Okay, look, I'll give you the comeback against Xavier was improbable and was tough to see coming. But they dominated Missouri, and they sure as hell dominated Gonzaga.
They dominated Xavier down the stretch, too. An 18-4 run does not happen by accident.
No, and I think it was 31-14 to end the game, 18-4 in the last
so that tells you.
They've played really well, and they've taken it. They took that win from Xavier.
They did.
And they dominated Missouri, and they, for the most part, save for a small stretch in the first half where there's a 15-0 run, and certainly I was concerned because Gonzaga, after looking outmanned, and they knew they weren't going to be able to play man-to-man pretty early on. They rightfully switched to zone, smart move. Florida State often struggles against the zone. Every team has a bugaboo. That seems to be ours. Okay. But we eventually adjusted too, and once that happened, Gonzaga was in trouble. And there are a lot of big numbers that are in play here, some of which are historically great. Gonzaga does not get beat like this. They just don't. It's been some time. It's one of their worst offensive performances in the last 7 years. And it wasn't by accident. It's Florida State's length and depth and talent and speed and agility. It was too much.
It was. This is something we actually talked about before Florida State went on the first run.
Yeah.
Not the one Gonzaga responded to by going 15 straight. I texted you, and you're like, well, this is about as an ideal start as you could have.
Yeah.
And I said, buddy, this reminds me, just watching the half courts, watching everything about how fast we are, how big we are, This reminds me a lot of the Duke game we took in last year together here in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Because by the second half, actually middle to late first half, you could tell that Florida State was the better basketball team, and that's just crazy. And they were on that night. Of course, Duke goes on to fortify its roster, and they put the pieces together. But in that moment, in that night, early ACC play, we're a better team than Duke is, player for player.
Yeah.
It felt that way before we even went on a run last night. If you saw what we did when we drove to the basket and then either go directly to the tin or we distribute and it's an easy dunk or a putback or whatever it is, we were bigger, we were stronger, we were faster, and it's because you combine that with the elements of depth and defense that are now trending to a point where they're just becoming something you could count on. It's incredible to see all of these things come together. You mix in something like Terrence Mann being fully healthy, and you have what we're watching.
Yeah, the embracing of the defensive side of the basketball and if you will, a part of the game, coupled with, I think, just being really battle-tested in a really great league. The ACC clearly prepares this team and teams in this league to be involved in games like this. And I have seen it more than once so far in this run where the opposing team sort of I've seen a ghost look on their face, where Florida State is so accustomed, because we're not an elite team in the ACC, we're not a blue blood, if we're not Duke or North Carolina or this year Virginia. We don't have too many games in conference where we're up by 20 or up by 30. Most of the games are really close, and they could go either way, and they hang in the balance in the last 5 minutes. And do you make the winning plays, as Coach calls them? Do you execute when you have to win games? And for teams like us and teams like Clemson and teams in the middle of the pack, oftentimes from a talent standpoint, that's the difference between whether or not you have a successful season and you win enough games to qualify and get into the tournament or not. We've had any number of games that could have gone the other way. The double overtime win against Syracuse, obviously the game late in the year against Boston College, the win over North Carolina, and lots of games like that, right? When you play that many games that are that close, you get accustomed to having to execute when the game is on the line. When the game is at its most intense and the pressure is at its highest, and executing enough over time, you begin to believe that you can do that. And I feel like this team plays with great confidence in those moments over and over and over again. So you don't always see it pan out. If the matchup's wrong and you lose early on, maybe you don't get to recognize that league was preparing you for these kinds of runs or these kinds of moments. But clearly the way it's worked out for Florida State in these matchups, so many moments where, hey, if you don't make that play here, or if you don't keep your composure in the moment, it's going to switch the other way and you could have a real problem. Florida State has found that composure. Florida State has played within themselves. Florida State has looked to the next possession and made the plays they've needed to make. And I really believe the ACC helped forge that for this team.
Yeah, and if you look at the scale for the season, and just talking regular season now, from awful to great, we were a good to above average to a good team.
Right.
You can't be, just an average team and score 6 quadrant 1 victories, which is why we got into the tournament the way we did, which is why you could argue we were a 9 seed when, honestly, the trends would say we were probably a 10 or an 11. But we weren't Elite 8 material. However, put that over to the side and just look at the body of work for these 3 games. We have earned our place. We are worthy of going to the Final Four.
You beat a 1 seed, you beat a 4 seed. I mean, you've beaten some good
teams.
We're
worthy of winning the game tomorrow and going to the Final Four. So, but so is Michigan. So is Michigan.
Yeah.
But we have earned our place here. This has not been some kind of happenstance or a couple of buzzer beaters, or there have been some lucky bounces along the way.
Well, if anything, Michigan's lucky to be where they are right now. I mean, they had a heave from a kid that's as improbable as it gets. So.
But we've done it any way you want to line it up. We built a big lead on a team that we should have trounced in the first round, given what they had with their roster and upheaval. And they pushed us back to a couple possessions, and we said, no, not tonight. We were down double digits to the number 1 seed in the bracket.
In the second half with 10 minutes to play.
We answered the call. We win that game. Last night, again, we play from out front. It gets pressed back down 2 times, once when they go to zone, once again in the second half where they get it down, I think, as little as 4.
I think it got to 4, yeah.
And then we close the door on them again. We are worthy of where we are. Do not be sheepish about what we're doing right now and embrace it. If it ends tomorrow, so be it. But it doesn't matter. What a run.
The 8-0 run to end the half, in essence, I think, was the game. All I looked for, and I didn't know it at the time, of course, but we look back on it now, the answer to the long Gonzaga run was a run to close out the half by Florida State to right the ship, to gain back that momentum and have the confidence going into the locker room that you're the better team. And Gonzaga comes out in that second half, and I think all of us were holding our collective breaths because the start of second halves have been tough for Florida State often this year. And as I want to point out, desperate teams, the teams trailing at half, tend to come out and really have a little extra because obviously they're fighting to get back in the game or to take the lead. And so I figured we'd see that from Gonzaga. I thought they'd come out swinging, and I thought, okay, well, you're going to have to hold on here, weather another storm, and then let's see what happens down the last 12 minutes or so. But we came out early in that second half and played really well and reestablished control that we had at the end of the first half, right? Once again, sending a message to Gonzaga. If you're going to win, and I think Gonzaga and Mark Few, I think their players and I think their coaches and certainly their fans watching the game had to have come to a certain conclusion pretty early in the game. And that conclusion was this: the only way we're going to win this game is if we shoot the lights out. Yeah. We're not going to beat this team off the dribble. No. We're not more athletic than them. We're not deeper than them. We're not more talented, or, they're not. They were going to have to outshoot us. They were going to have to make a lot of shots, and they didn't. Yeah,
that's the defensive, development. That's just kind of stunning because how many times over the last, since Leonard changed the philosophy of the program, have we lamented that we are susceptible to blow-bys? But we rim protect, we rotate, we're stifling in the perimeter. Now, we will give up a lot of open looks in the perimeter, and Gonzaga couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in the formative moments of the first half. But we're much better at contesting than we were. And when we go through a stretch, when we play good defense, it's not like it was. In the regular season, if we got through a stretch of playing what we would term, and I'm using air quotes for people on the radio here, good defense, it would be average. When we play good defense now, it harkens back to the junkyard dog days. It's stifling. You look on the court and you say, God almighty, I know that Gonzaga scored their last two times down the court, but one's a tough fadeaway, and another one is a reverse lay-in that goes in high off the glass. I like my chances if these are the shots they have to work for after 25 seconds of possession. It's just incredible to watch.
And I know I want to celebrate it, and throughout today's show, we're going to celebrate it a lot and talk about what transpired last night. But just as a way of letting you all know, again, another late start tomorrow night for Florida State around 9 o'clock, tipping on CBS against a very good Michigan team who absolutely just destroyed Texas A&M. This is going to be the stiffest test. Michigan came into the tournament playing exceptionally well. They're 31-7 on the year, 13-5 in the Big Ten. They're a team that, frankly, I worried about coming in. If I were looking at teams that I was going to pick to have a chance to win the national championship, they were one of them. I think we discussed that earlier.
Yeah, I had them in the championship game against another team that's out.
Yeah.
Maybe a 1 seed.
Really, really good team. Whether you're talking about, Matthews or Wagner or Rockman, they're just really, really talented. And so, I've learned a lesson, though. I'm watching Michigan last night, and they win 99-72. They absolutely destroyed Texas A&M. They've won 12 games in a row now. I've actually watched a little bit of Michigan this year, and I'm thinking to myself, well, God, we can't beat that team. We're not going to beat that team. I was thinking that last time, like, well, even if we win this game, we're not going to beat Michigan.
Then you watched us play.
And then I watched us play, and I watched us embrace defense again, and I watched us really become a nuisance, and we have talent. And I'm reminded that, look, I didn't think we'd beat Xavier either. I thought we were better than most people did before the season started, and I pound my chest about that. But at the same time, no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought we'd make the Elite Eight. And no, I didn't think we'd knock off Gonzaga last night. I thought that was a very experienced team. They're there every year, 4 consecutive years in the Sweet 16, 20 straight years in the NCAA tournament. They just played in the finals. They barely lost to North Carolina for a national championship. And I know they lost some people, but it's hard then to say that our team, who lost 11 games, and at times, they were a 500 team in the ACC. And I'll grant you, it's a great league, and we did allow for that. We did say, well, playing in this league certainly helps you in these moments. Maybe it will be the difference. Maybe those teams that have these gaudy records that didn't play in our league will get exposed. And to some extent that has happened. But this is improbable, and I'll embrace that. But I have also learned that this group believes, and they play for each other. They play hard, and they're playing smart, and they're playing well defensively. So, no, I'm not counting them out tomorrow. Michigan will be favored, as they should be, as was Xavier, as was Gonzaga. But this group here, you'd be foolish to count them out.
Correct.
Absolutely foolish. What an accomplishment. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Noles beat the Wolverines.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Join Tallahassee's sports monster all NCAA tournament long, from the opening tip to the cutting down of the nets, as our partners at Westwood One bring you all the heart-pounding moments. At the buzzer, oh my goodness! And madness.
For the championship!
that March has to offer. The NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you locally by Hobbit American Grill, Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia, and Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
By the way, one of the reasons that you would be, if you're going to focus here for a second on Michigan, a little bit worried here. They rank number 3 in adjusted defensive efficiency. These stats tend to portend of real good things to come for those teams.
They're playing in a Power 5, if you will, even though this is basketball. It's not like Gonzaga being top 15 across the board, and you're like, well, I guess.
Right.
Sort of, maybe.
Yeah, no, Michigan's been real good, and they're playing really, really well right now. By the way, like opponents, if you're wondering about that, of course, Florida State played Rutgers, and we won that game 78-73 in November, and then we beat North Carolina 81-80 at home. Michigan beat Rutgers by 15, but Michigan lost to North Carolina by 15.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just that, those games were played a long time ago.
Once again, it continues the broken record, but it keeps on playing, which is we are capable of just about anything tomorrow night. It would not stun me if by the under 8 timeout in the second half, we're shaking hands and saying, well, that was a hell of a run. Or it doesn't surprise me either if we're at the under 8 timeout and we're going, my God, we're up several possessions here. Let's close this thing out.
5 shooters for Michigan. This is the problem. You're going to have to be, as good as we've been on defense, Michigan will roll a lineup out there with 5 shooters and space the floor, and Florida State will have to play to a man exceptionally well. That's the beauty of this Michigan team is all 5 guys can score, and that can be a problem for us. The other problem is we have not seen the kind of defense that Michigan can play. In this tournament, we haven't. So this is going to be interesting because Michigan's defense has been the story this year for them. They're not always great under Beilein defensively. They are this year. And so I'm not saying we can't. I don't want to paint this, David versus Goliath thing.
Right.
But there's a reason Michigan's favored. There's a reason people had Michigan as a Final Four team, and they were playing exceptionally well coming into the season. We're the surprise here. They are not.
Correct.
I got it. That's fine.
100%. And I got a cheat sheet on Michigan last night from our mutual friend Mike Famey, who used to sit in this chair right here.
Right there.
ESPN Tallahassee. Yep. But he gave me a cheat sheet of 3 quick keys. And number 1 is use your bigs to get second chance points. You're already going to control the defensive glass. We don't crash the boards against transition teams. So they're going to try and prevent us from getting out in transition even off of their
everybody
misses.
does. Yeah.
They'll be okay with one and dones because they believe in their shooters. Number 2, keep switching how you guard against high ball screens. If you do it the same way, Beilein's going to adjust, and they're going to have open threes all day long.
And they made them all last night.
And number 3 is get their big star players in foul trouble because Beilein believes, by the book, 2 fouls is always going to mean the bench for you in the first half.
By the way, I will say this, and I want to touch on this in a moment. We do get people in foul trouble.
Yes, this is true.
We get to the free throw line. That's what the hell we do. It's part of our overriding philosophy. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind, tough like a soul soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
My, oh my, brothers and sisters, it's back again. Major League Baseball is here. Join us Thursday, March the 29th. That's right. It's early this year for an MLB opening day celebration at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. This annual tradition at the CP celebrates the beauty that is baseball and features $2 pints, $2 dogs, and every Jeff Cameron Show listener gets a free piece of apple pie. Now, what's more American than baseball, hot dogs, beer, and apple pie? And the CP. It's a beautiful thing. So join us Thursday, March 29th at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill for Jeff Cameron Show's celebration, a day of watching baseball together. We'll see you there.
Cornerstone Tool & Fastener congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, big store pricing with local service, online at ctf.nu. Go Noles, beat the Wolverines.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car, yes sir.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
I took a bit of a risk singing that song, but of course the one place I never take chances is the road, where Progressive Snapshot rewards your safe driving. A good driver plus Snapshot equals big discounts. And speaking of math, 1 + 1 = 2, little too late.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Hobbit American Grill congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978. MyHobbitOnline.com. Go Noles, beat the Wolverines.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Celtics guard Kyrie Irving will have surgery on his left knee tomorrow. The team is calling the procedure minimally invasive. He's missed the last 4 games, and there won't be a timetable on Irving's return until after the surgery. The Sweet 16 wraps up tonight in Omaha and Boston. There's already an 11 seed into the Elite Eight, Loyola Chicago, coached by Porter Moser.
We've assembled a group of guys that have won before in their life. I mean, they got that gene. They believe. They don't feel it's over until the final buzzer. And I look back on that Miami game, trying to find ways to get it. We got to steal and a press. We're not a pressing team, and we found a way. And, we got 7 guys on the team that won state championships.
Porter Moser, the coach of the Loyola Chicago Ramblers on Golick and Wingo. The NCAA has cleared the way for Purdue's Isaac Haas to play tonight against Texas Tech in Boston, but that doesn't mean he will. Haas now has approval to wear a brace on his fractured right elbow, but Coach Matt Painter isn't sure that Haas is yet ready to play.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You know, something we haven't talked about but might be worth bringing up here, I think certainly is, think about Leonard Hamilton's age for a second, and you may not know where I'm going with this, but again, I can't stress enough that how impressed I am with a guy who is nearly 70 to go about the process of changing the way we play and changing style, going to what they would, obviously offensively changing everything about what we're doing, going to that 4-out, and embracing a much more appealing brand of basketball to watch. But also, you have to be all in when you decide to do this and trust that you're going to be able to go out and get the kind of athletes and skill to execute this, or else you have gone away from a thing that you had proven to work. And he did that, but something else that he did, and I don't want to get bogged down in the weeds here, but Leonard Hamilton became fascinated by the analytics. Now, we all know there's been a sports analytics revolution, and lots of organizations have gone to fully embracing it in all sports. Others are still old school and don't do it. They tend to get left behind. Golden State is the poster child for radically altering the way they play basketball, or the way the game of basketball is played. And, basically you're looking for analytic tools, quantitative tools, I should say, that are going to help you find and interpret, if you will, the data to make better decisions. I mean, that's what that is, right? And you have to be, as an organization, and if you read extensively about Golden State, you know this, and there are no shortage of articles, you have to be committed to it across the board from the top on down as an organization, because it doesn't happen by accident. You have to invest in the ability to discern these things, which means you have to have a straightforward, unwavering approach, the collection ability to have the data-driven material in the approach, to be able to dispense of that to your team in a way that they can understand and utilize. So it starts at the very top, and you leverage that.
Well, this is the genesis of my concerns with Leonard Hamilton. I've long been a Ham supporter. I have for a very, very long time. The bulk of his career here, given you could see what he was up against. Recent years they've invested, we all know that part. But when it got dark, before he was extended and given another chance, there were two things going on. Apparently, this marked one of those, times, or that time. This is one big topic, was we were changing what we were. We were changing the identity of the program.
Right.
The second was a change in recruiting philosophy. We're trying to recruit to this end. We're trying to recruit skill. We're not trying to get athletes here and to teach them defense. We're trying to get kids who can put the ball in the basket so that we can run this type of system. And it was in that moment that we're trying to change fundamentally what we were as a program that I had my reservations, and I thought it might be time to make a change. But he's done it. Again, we've said it this year, even when we just made the tournament, before we went on this run. This is a different program. The coaches are the same. But if you looked at the product on the court, save for some half-court possessions last night, defensively speaking, specifically those ones were rotationally beautiful, it's a different game that we're playing.
Much different. They have focused in on the kinds of shots you want to take. And and this is a really oversimplification of what a lot of analytics is in the NBA, but it's discovering through the data mining process the relative value of shots. I think that's correct. All right. And actually, we have audio. I know you and I have saved this before because we're going to do something. Use it here, Tom. Let's use this. This is D'Antoni's brother, right?
Yeah, Dan D'Antoni.
Yeah, use this. I know we've had this. I want to have this conversation.
This is a classic analytics clip, too, for analytics people.
Well, it's just interesting. Yeah, use it now, and then we'll get back to what I want to say about Ham.
I know you guys take a lot of threes. Did you feel like there maybe wasn't quite enough working the ball into the paint early on?
You're old school, aren't you? You know what? Do you watch the NBA ever? Yeah. Well, you see those top three teams, Golden State, do they work it in? Hey, my brother at Houston, biggest turnaround, do they work it in? Listen, that game, my opinion, obviously, gone. You go get any computer and run what the best shots are, they'll tell you a post-up's the worst shot in basketball. So if you want to run down, try to get it in there to shoot over somebody, then you're beating analytics. So, the best shot in basketball is that corner three. Next best shot in basketball is any other three. That's you go get it and read them out. Other than free throws, which we try to do, get to the foul line, because you score 1.5 points every time you go to the foul line in the pros, and it just trickle down. It's the same thing for college kids.
To sort of lull them into.
I haven't finished my dang on analytics story. You got to go to bed or something. You're going out. But you score layups. If you can get to a layup and it's clean, it's not one that's highly contested. It's 1.8. It's 1.3 from that corner. 1.27. You know what a post up is? Over top, a guy standing like this. 0.78. So you run your team down there, and we'll see how long you stay with teams that can play the other way. And you've seen it in the NBA. The last two championships have been Cleveland and Golden State. Well, they do. I mean, you don't see by posting. They just spreading that thing out and going. So, I changed a long time ago because I coached for 15 years like a dummy, running down there real hard so I can get it in there for the worst shot in basketball. Didn't even know what I was doing. So, no, my answer in short version, the short version is no.
So how is that applicable? Florida State leads the ACC in free throws attempted. Think about all the teams in this league. Florida State leads the ACC in free throws attempted. Think about what we've become. And it illustrates Ham's willingness to change and embrace modern analytics. We're not always equipped to do all of the things we'd like to do, like Golden State.
Yes, we do have bigs. Traditional centers, we do play
But we
them.
don't feed the post and set up our offense by going inside out.
Not unless we slash.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't do it.
We run a few post plays a game, but in general, and also in college, there's the zone element to defense, so you can rim protect with a big.
Yeah, and it is slightly different. But think about where we score. We score with cuts to the basket, layups. We lead the ACC in free throws attempted per game. So we get to the free throw line, and we shoot threes. That's how Florida State scores. So think about what he's done at his age. Now, how much or to what degree is he, a disciple of the analytics? I don't know, because I haven't had a long-form conversation with him about that. I know though that he's intrigued by it and that he looked at the data.
Intrigued enough to change the way we recruited and change the way we built our
play
program.
The game.
Yeah.
Change the way we played the game.
Again, same coaches, it's a different product on the floor.
Yeah, and you have to analyze. I mean, look, it's all relative to what you can bring in, to the kinds of players you can bring in. But to that end, you have a goal. And then if you aren't able to succeed in getting those kinds of players to the degree that you want to, well, then obviously you have to assess a lot of detailed information and make adjustments based on what you do have. And that's all part of coaching.
Sure. Well, in the NBA too.
Yeah.
Listen, the Pelicans, they can't have what Golden State has, so they try to go with Boogie and Anthony Davis.
Well, and it works.
And right.
Yeah.
But it's a different way of doing things now, and they both can shoot from
That's
further away
say,
from the
their
basket.
bigs can shoot.
But still, they're bigs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not built with a bunch of 2s and 3s. You got a couple of 2 4s and 5s right there.
Remember our conversation yesterday about John Gruden? It's never bad to have additional information. The decisions you're trying to make, you would think you can better make if you embrace more information. But again, you have to do that in a way that everybody is on the same page. You are, in essence, grabbing this data, and everybody has to understand what they're looking at. You have to be able to describe this, and you have to be able to teach it and use it, and then improve your team with it. And that's, it's easier said than done. But clearly, that has happened here. Florida State has gone away from the way they played to a new way of playing that is much more aesthetically pleasing.
Well, there are possessions involved here, too, in the possession count. We want to up the possessions.
And we have now gone to back-to-back tournaments. A year ago, we won 26 games, made the second round of the NCAA tournament this year. We won 20 games. We're now at 22 wins or 23 wins, whatever it is now. Finished 500 after losing 3 NBA players, and we're in the Elite Eight. I don't think it's a coincidence. And what I am saying is I really marvel at an older coach changing his ways, deciding to make a change and figuring out the best way to go about it, implementing and succeeding with it. It's just not something that should be overlooked. Again, I don't want to get bogged down in the weeds with all of this stuff, but it is to me worth noting, if only because it is so seldomly seen that people make those kinds of alterations to philosophy at that age. It just doesn't happen.
Right, and I thought, personally, for a little while there, I thought he was failing at it, which is why I was like, well, time's up, man. You know,
he must
you tried.
Have
you
an awful lot of confidence to do that because you have to know there are going to be bumps and bruises along the way.
And, well, you had to convince somebody along the way that what you were doing was going to work, too, because there has to be a meeting when the contract comes up and, you know, you swung for the fences here, Leonard, but Wiggins didn't come, and we don't play any defense, and we haven't made the tournament in years.
Yeah.
So what would you say you do here? Now, hang on a minute. Let me show you why I'm doing what I'm doing.
This, right.
Stick with me here.
Yeah, give me one more. I'm telling you.
Right.
Then you better go out and produce, which happened. And it has now happened again. And there's just no telling where you go from here in that what this does in terms of opening up recruiting options. You know, we keep getting back to stressing the point about how important it was to get back to this tournament. And no, I did not think they'd make a run to the Elite Eight if they got back to the tournament. But when you get to the tournament, weird things can happen. It's a weird forum, and you understand that sometimes you go on improbable runs. And the only way you can do that is to be there. But what it does do is certainly allow then for you to utilize that in recruiting. To now say you've gone to back-to-back tournaments, that you've gone and made the Elite Eight. It's not like they got bounced in the first round last year. They won a game last year as well.
Right, and nobody would confuse us with the we're not the college version of Golden State or Houston, offensively speaking.
Well, no.
But what this does is it maximizes every ounce of what we do have.
Yeah, and it's God, it's
isn't that
fun.
Coaching? Maximizing everything, every little bit of what you do have.
That's why I brought up the point that I did too. I just don't want that to be underappreciated. That he's doing a lot of coaching here. That guy deserves credit for his coaching, for a decision to change a philosophy, to embrace it, and run the risk that it's not going to work, and to really be in a rather tenuous position at one point where it may not have, where maybe we would have run into him years later, and given the gregarious nature of Leonard Hamilton, he would have sat down with us and said, you know what I was trying to do, guys? And
I was close. And we would have been like, yeah,
we
right.
would have laughed, but that conversation would have gone that way. He would have said, what I was doing was embracing what the NBA was doing because I was intrigued by it, and I thought maybe we could do it. I whiffed on a couple of recruits, and I didn't get the time that I needed after those swings and misses.
We got Bacon and Beasley, and we didn't make the tournament that first year. I mean, that was the one where I was like, well, now you're getting one and dones, and we still that was the hard one.
The problem you have is that when you get somebody who is a one and done, he's also what? A freshman.
Yeah.
And so you don't know,
and,
you know?
Well, and the more you listen to analysts and coaches who are dialed into the the draft process, it's tough for an 18, 19-year-old not to be looking forward to his professional career.
Sure.
He may still be very committed to everyday practice, but the distraction, it looms.
You're
about to cash in.
Yeah.
Your family is about to be taken care of.
Lifelong dream.
For generations. And what? You know, we're playing in the ACC tournament in Brooklyn? Oh, sorry.
So you want to get goofy for a second, and maybe it'll be the last time I bring it up. But given where we are in the bracket and where we are in the the matchups, it's not crazy to think that the winner of this game tomorrow is going to the finals. That makes you nervous, doesn't it?
That's gonna hover over this game differently than the Zags game, different than the Xavier game. That reality will hover over this game.
Well, all I said is it's not crazy.
Right.
Again, because it's not.
Right. They got there too, just like you did, but they're also a 9 seed and an 11 seed. And we've taken out a 1 seed, and if we get to this point, we'll have taken out a 3 and a 4.
Oh, the road to hoe here, my friend.
Mm-hmm. It's been hoed.
A 1, 3, and a 4.
More.
If it happens,
it's one more block to hoe.
I don't even want to talk about that nonsense. That's just ridiculous. But it is. I mean, I sit there. I keep staring at the bracket, going, "God, we win this game?"
Boy, Kentucky lost, huh?
I'm like, well, my goodness gracious. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Our enclosures and storefront glass. Wooden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Wooden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Wooden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Wooden is known for taking care of business. Wooden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it, and I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was
but
perfect. It was perfect.
it
Why
looked
wouldn't you
good.
keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I
don't
tell
know.
everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Whole Foods Market in Tallahassee congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Shop for all your game-watching party needs at Whole Foods Market. Go Noles. Beat the Wolverines.
You're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
97.9 ESPN Radio. You know, lost in all of this is still the idea that Virginia is sitting at home watching all of these teams, Syracuse and Clemson and Florida State. They're not mad Duke's there, because Duke's always there. But you're Virginia, and you house this conference through the entirety of a season. You win the ACC tournament and look dominant doing it. And you have to sit back last night and watch Florida State go to the Elite Eight.
Oh, yeah. I remember Virginia.
Imagine that.
I forgot about them.
Freaking Virginia. Oh, my goodness gracious. How mad is Virginia? It's funny. When you pull up the standings of the ACC and you see a 17-1 record, and you see a 31-3 overall record, and you note that they were ranked coaches, AP, CBS, every poll imaginable, one. And that stretch after they lost to Virginia Tech, this is what they did. They beat Miami, All right, they beat Georgia Tech and Pitt. They won at Louisville. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Louisville again, this time 75-58. They beat Clemson. They beat North Carolina 71-63. I mean, they beat everybody handily, good teams, and then got housed by 20 by UMBC. And now sit back and watch Florida State roll to the Elite Eight with the potential that they're going to watch Clemson roll to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Syracuse could.
Oh, they could. I don't think they will, but you're right. No. They could.
At earlier check today, I believe Duke was 11.5 point favorite. I would take Duke, actually, and I would lay those points.
I feel like Duke's in a good place right now. I don't disagree.
That may be an unholy beatdown tonight.
Michigan, by the way, the team we play tomorrow, has won 12 straight ball games, have played really good basketball. What else is new? You're going to play a really good team when you're in the Elite Eight. But again, it's funny because you just, these tournaments can be, and we talk about it a lot, a crapshoot. And these tournaments can be at times devastating to programs who have obviously, over the course of the long haul and a much more rigorous examination, proven themselves to be elite, maybe even the best team in the country, and it all comes down, gets whittled down to this. There's no doubt that every Florida State fan right now, or anybody else that remains in this tournament currently, Kansas State, for example, who's also in an Elite Eight position, who amongst these fan bases doesn't feel like they've had a much better season than Virginia? Period. And that includes Virginia fans. Heartbreakingly so, right? If you're a Virginia fan...
Oh, yeah, I weep for them, yeah.
No, I'm not saying I'm worried about it. I am saying that if I'm a Virginia fan, it hurts me to know that no matter how much rationalization I do and how much I try to tell myself that, in truth, it's silly to gauge the complexities of a season by how you do in a truncated tournament, and to ignore an ACC regular season and tournament championship and a school record for wins, etc., and become envious of a K-State and Florida State, except for I am, if I'm them, completely. I can't convince myself otherwise. I can't say that if I'm a Virginia fan, I wouldn't gladly trade in both the regular season and conference tournament championship to be in the Elite Eight right now, because they all would.
To be in the Elite Eight?
I think
with
so.
No guarantees beyond that point?
I think so. I think you take your chances. Like, just plop me down in the Elite Eight and I'll take my chances.
Yeah. With the team I have.
With the team that won 30-something games and dominated everybody, I'll take my chances. We're going to get to the finals. It's an illustration of what this tournament does, and fair sometimes has nothing to do with it, admittedly. I mean, look, if you're on the wrong end of it and you lose, you try to fall back on that regular season. We did it a year ago. Last year was a success. There is no way around that. It was a success. They won 26 games, went undefeated at home, got back to the NCAA tournament, won a game in the tournament, But when we lost and we sat back and watched the rest of that tournament, you had a bad taste in your mouth. There's just no way around that. And imagine now, I mean, that was just us. We didn't win the conference. Imagine now you're Virginia. You won the conference going away, resoundingly. What did it get you? Not even a one win. Not even one.
Oh, Thomas Jefferson, what have we wrought?
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Hooters of Tallahassee, 2000 North Monroe Street. Remember, no great story ever started over breadsticks. Go Noles. Beat the Wolverines.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Celtics guard Kyrie Irving will have surgery on his left knee tomorrow. The team is calling the procedure minimally invasive. He's missed the last 4 games, and there won't be a timetable on Irving's return until after the surgery. The Sweet 16 wraps up tonight in Omaha and Boston. There's already an 11 seed into the Elite Eight, Loyola Chicago, coached by Porter Moser.
We've assembled a group of guys that have won before in their life. I mean, they got that gene. They believe. They don't feel it's over until the final buzzer. And I look back on that Miami game, trying to find ways to get it. We got to steal and a press. We're not a pressing team, and we found a way. And we got 7 guys on the team that won state championships.
Porter Moser, the coach of the Loyola Chicago Ramblers on Golick and Wingo. The NCAA has cleared the way for Purdue's Isaac Haas to play tonight against Texas Tech in Boston, but that doesn't mean he will. Haas now has approval to wear a brace on his fractured right elbow, but Coach Matt Painter isn't sure that Haas is yet ready to play.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the Jeff Cameron Show. Hour number 2 begins. And it begins with the acknowledgement, once again, that Florida State's in the Elite Eight. How about them apples?
What now?
Florida State has made it to the Elite Eight. There are 8 teams still playing basketball. We're amongst them.
Hot damn, the Noles did it again.
Woo! Woo! Online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. Sometimes you miss things. It happens. You can. I'm telling you that right now. But You go back, you get caught up at your leisure. You say, good thing those guys at 97.9 ESPN Radio put all 3 hours up of the program, both in the podcast on iTunes, where we really do appreciate you rating us so highly and sharing with others the successes of the Jeff Cameron Show podcast on iTunes. Thank you so much. It helps others find it. Also, you can find it on our webpage. I almost called our webpage warchant.com because I work with those guys so frequently.
That's true, yes.
ESPNTallahassee.com. Email the show if you like. Lots of you have in celebration. Some of you in the wee hours of the morning. JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. It's also at 979 ESPN Radio, where you can watch the show being periscoped, and on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. This is great. That is the email. Yeah, I got it. I agree. It is great. It is an awful lot of fun. It is something to celebrate. It is still something that kind of makes you pinch yourself when you woke up this morning, right? We all went to bed a little tired, got up a little bleary-eyed, and then went, oh, yeah, Noles won last night.
Well, actually, I have some audio for you.
Oh, please. Yeah.
This audio, you actually dialed me with your derriere this morning.
Did I really?
Yes, and you were getting your morning cup of joe.
And you had the moment to tape. Nicely done.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee. I've had, I can't tell you how many cups of coffee in my life, and this is one of the best.
Did you notice how I had to get her attention, but I said, excuse me, because she was starting to look off. I went really early in the morning to get my breakfast, get it, then she was starting to wander.
Well,
hey,
she was tired. She was up watching the Noles beat that ass.
Yeah, but then I had to let her know that I was proud of that cup of coffee. You know, there isn't much better in the morning when you've been up late and you're a little tired. Now, I was smart. I kept it together last night. You and I talked late after the game.
We did. We prepped.
Yeah, we were good. You know, the fact that I was able to get through that game with fewer than 4 beers suggests that the Noles, A, won comfortably, and B, did very little to make me nervous. And maybe I'm getting wiser.
Well, I took in that game Provo sober. I mean, not a drop.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's
I don't
about.
know what that's about either.
Oh, we got to remedy that. But anyhow, the point is, I'm proud of you. That's good. We both kind of talked out our day.
You're not proud of me.
No, I'm not proud, but you know, I congratulate you.
There was a busy morning. You know,
yeah, there's a lot to do. I understood. You were thinking ahead.
Our mutual friend Mike invited me to watch the doubleheader last night out, and it was actually at the Corner Pocket, our sponsor today on Libations Friday.
Absolutely.
But I just couldn't because I knew if I was locked in at 7 o'clock,
well,
7:30,
you'd be nervous. Then you have nervous beers.
I'd have nervous beers.
Yeah, nervous
exactly
beers.
Right.
Nervous beers are the death of all of us. What happens with nervous beers is because you're nervous, you just think, well, it's logical. I'll have something to calm the nerves. A little beer here will help me relax, unwind, take the weight of the week off me. And then, well, once you start down the road of nervous beer drinking, you're down the road of nervous beer drinking. That ain't going to be the only one.
Right. It's like an invisible refill effect with the nervous beers.
You don't even realize you had the one.
Right.
It's gone as soon as they set it down.
Oh, 3.
Oh, okay.
I thought there was only 2.
It's 3
you
hours
look at the
before
ticket after, and you're like, oh, my.
It's 3 hours before tip-off. We
got problems.
We got some issues. Florida State, as we mentioned last hour and will forever mention repeatedly today, wins to go to the Elite Eight over Gonzaga. The Bulldogs really outclassed. 75-60. Florida State was just too good. And, you know, if you think back on this game, it's the second time in the tournament. I was talking with a buddy of mine this morning, and fans do this. We all do when they're invested as much as you are in an NCAA tournament or a postseason of any kind for any of your teams, whether it's pro or college. You don't often remember the games that came easy, the games that you pretty well dominated, the games that really allowed you to watch beyond just what was at stake and the nerves that come with that acknowledgement. But you don't really get to watch too many postseason games where something of significance is on the line with relative ease. You know, most of the time, it's so much so that you tend to forget when that's happened. You see it with other people's teams. And you're always quick to remind people that, oh, well, why can't we just do what Michigan did against Texas A&M? Why can't we just do what some of these other teams do and just make it easy? I mean, they won by 35 points. It'd be nice. Why can't we just do what Clemson did against Auburn? But this tournament has really been that. You had the heart stopper the oh my God, on the edge of your seat game against Xavier, where the comeback was underway and you wondered, could you climb all the way back and see it to its conclusion and find a way to win that game? But in truth, Florida State really, outside the first 3 minutes of the Missouri game, dominated Missouri, simply dominated Missouri. And outside of really a 15-0 run for Gonzaga in the middle of the first half last night, most of this game was pretty well controlled. I mean, controlled by Florida State. That doesn't mean there wasn't a moment where it got close again. It did. But you felt like Florida State was in control of the game, and that's because, they were.
From the word go.
Yeah.
From the word go. And think about that. You are in control of the game from start to finish, and you absorb a 15-0 run in the process.
It's amazing.
That's something.
Well, you think about that. You're facing a team, we talked about it last night. It was a team that had one of the better offenses and defenses in the country. And you come out and you hand Gonzaga one of their worst performances of the last 7-8 years. I mean, statistically speaking, it was one of their worst performances. I think it was their worst offensive performance I saw in 7 years. Well, goodness gracious, that is sheer domination, and it really is one of the talking points that carries the day for us right now. When people ask, well, who saw this coming? Well, nobody saw a run to the Elite Eight coming. There were some of us who thought this team was a lot better than others did, but we didn't see an Elite Eight run. But what you did see was a team that was resilient, that played for each other, that played hard, and had some things going for it, including talent and skill and depth. They didn't engage on the defensive end the way that we wanted them to throughout the year. It was a point of contention and frustration, and you just thought, wow, if they could find a way to ratchet up the defense, then maybe, just maybe, they could surprise some people. And that is what has happened in this tournament. I mean, when people ask, what's the answer? How did we get to this point, and why is this happening, and all those things, I really always come back to the defensive side. I say, there were nights where we really, we offensively, we were great. During the course of the year, there were plenty of nights like that, especially the first half of the season. You could really see the offensive firepower. And then there were just pick your nights from there, kind of spotty. But at no point did you sustain great defensive effort for multiple games this year. You might for a half or you might for a game, but rarely did we put together back-to-back games of great defensive intensity where you're in the passing lane, where you're active with your hands, you're challenging shot after shot, you're rebounding the basketball well. You didn't have that. This tournament, you've had it. They've committed on the defensive end. They believe in it. They're being rewarded because of it, and it's made it easier for them to embrace it now in each of these games.
Well, there's a couple of things, too, that allow us to continue to pace the game, to continue to control the game last night that were some help. Number one, Gonzaga was terrible at the free throw line.
And they were terrible from beyond the arc.
Number two, yes, they were terrible from beyond the arc. And number three, we scored some ugly baskets as we were figuring out the 2-3. When they first started the 2-3, of course, we missed 5 field goals, whatever it is, in a row, and we looked completely discombobulated. But then we score a couple of baskets, and the next thing you know, we're going to a media timeout, or one of the coaches calls a timeout, and we're up a point. It feels like we're down 5 because of the way the game has flowed and the adjustment Gonzaga has made, but we're either within a basket or we have a one-possession lead. And it's in that moment that when you go on another run, you haven't allowed Gonzaga to take control of the game. It's now in the balance before you push towards the end of the half.
Well, because you got off to such a great start. And then, yes, at the end of the half, you go on an 8-0 run to go in 41-32, and you've really pretty well, outside of the middle portion where you are completely dominated, outside of that, the bookends are all Florida State. And another thing that happened last night, Tom, that, again, has not always been indicative of this team is they started the second half really well. Florida State came out and played very well in the early moments of the second half, and you're figuring that you're going to have to withstand a run because the more desperate team coming out of a half typically goes on those. It's basketball. But, no, Florida State came out looking to push it, looking to build the lead.
Yeah, what I was concerned with, too, was that with all the players in foul trouble that we had in the first half, I thought, all right, well, you bring all of the regular bodies back and you try to establish, again, they referenced it before last night, but we've talked about it. It's like a hockey line, and it's these wholesale changes you make. So you want to restore your first group and your second group. I mean, are we out of the flow because of all the foul trouble we were in, or can you actually do that? And we did. And I thought, well, this is a vulnerability because we might be at out of sorts.
Yeah.
We weren't. We
No,
weren't.
no.
The only time we really got crazy was when we have a lead and we're trying to end the game, and we're going 100 miles an hour when 75 will do. Other than that, in the second half, we really were in control.
And I don't really mind that, though. I like when we play with that kind of tempo because I think that we're more equipped to do it, and it speeds the other team up. And if they try to match, they usually can't.
Correct, and that's what they said was the game plan, point blank. Usually you don't get much insight from players or coaches, but last night Terrence said it at the post-game podium. Speeding them up, that was the message. Speed them up, they can't handle it.
Well, what I thought was funny was that Gonzaga has, over the course of a season, been able to handle lots of different styles. That's why they had a top 15 offense. They were able to play in half court and in transition and get up and down the floor. But this goes back to, again, a conversation that we had yesterday that I've harped on, which is that I can look at those numbers, and I did, but I'm always looking at them with a bit of a jaundiced eye. I respect that program and everything they've done, but I didn't see them in the ACC. I didn't see them go against this level of competition and be that efficient in a sped-up tempo with their offense. And so when I saw us doing it to them, I realized they don't have the athletes to do this with us. Maybe with some teams in the WCC, but they don't have it in here.
Well, and once again, marry the athletes with the increase in defensive efficiency. This is something we didn't see in the regular season. Even when we were going well, you're not seeing defensive intensity and rotations the way you did last night, especially. I mean, again, there's a couple of possessions in the half court in the second half last night where the rotations after a collapse were akin to the junkyard dog days. I mean, I'm talking perfect rotations. Picking up your teammate's man, be it at the perimeter, be it down by the basket. I mean, these are perfect rotations. A backside pass, they're going to get us. Nope, you're not open. I got you all day.
Yeah, no, when we switched, we did a very, very good job
Yes.
time and again. It was a lot of fun to watch, too. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. I continue to be mesmerized. I mean, I'm excited and happy for these kids because this is them at their best, and you want to be playing your best in the tournament. But so often it's very hard, A, to predict that or see that coming, and B, to know whether or not the best version of yourself will come forth at the most critical time. And the only way that can happen is, again, if you give yourself enough opportunities. So getting back to the tournament this year, which was the stated goal, allows for this. And I'm just happy for them that it came together at just the right time because, again, you know, it's a long season, and you're going to look good at times, you're going to look bad at times, and everything in between. But last year, as we came down the stretch with a 26-win team, with all of those guys that we've mentioned all season long who are now gone from this team, they weren't playing that well late last year. And we barely got by Florida Gulf Coast, and then we got housed by Xavier. And it left for some a real empty feeling, a bad taste in your mouth. This year, again, coming down the stretch, we weren't playing very well, and it led a lot of people to think that we were going to be one and done. And I didn't necessarily think that. I said, look, the matchup against Missouri is a good one for us. But no, I could not have predicted that we'd go to the Elite Eight. No, I didn't say we were going to beat a 1 seed. I didn't think we'd beat a 1 seed. And I didn't think we'd beat a team with as much experience in the Sweet 16 and in this tournament, 20 years straight of going to it as Gonzaga. But we have, and we've earned those wins. Those wins, I mean, we housed Missouri. We showed the guts to come back in the second half, double digits down against Xavier. And then really we dominated, Gonzaga. Florida State has been the better team in these 3 games.
Yeah, this is no fluke run.
Certainly
again,
2 of the 3.
This is no fluke run where you're hitting 12 to 15 threes.
No, you're not doing something crazy to get it done.
The only thing that you could qualify as potentially crazy is that we're playing defense, given what we were.
Well, and we begged them to all year long to buy in, and now they have, and they're being rewarded in a way that is enriching as it comes. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
$8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Join Tallahassee's sports monster all NCAA tournament long, from the opening tip to the cutting down of the nets, as our partners in Westwood One bring you all the heart-pounding moments. At the buzzer, oh my goodness! And madness. For the championship! That March has to offer. The NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you locally by Hobbit American Grill, Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia, and Miller's Ale House on Appalachie Parkway. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Thin group at wide receiver. You're running at a different pace, implementing new things offensively for Florida State in spring football. They get the bad news yesterday. Willie Taggart mentioning that Nooney Murray, has gone down for the spring with a left knee injury. A tear of the meniscus, slight tear on the outside of the meniscus is what Willie described it as. And that means he's going to miss the spring. He does believe he'll be back just fine and he'll be okay. He'll be healed and ready to go, obviously, as we get to fall. But it is a problem because, again, you're reminded that Florida State is already very thin at wide receiver. They will have, obviously, Keith Gavin and DJ Matthews, and we're all excited about Tamaron Terry, who we thought could find a way on the field last year given his immense talent. But anyhow, that said, those three are solid, and you're excited, and they'll get plenty of opportunities. But you just don't have a lot behind that, and given what they're trying to do and the way that they conduct practice and the pace they're planning to play with, you do wonder. And he was asked that question, and he said, well, we're going to have to do a good job of coaching, I can tell you that. And also he said, you know, the beauty of our system is that we have lots of guys we can utilize in those positions. And we have a depth of running back that I think is certainly going to help us here. And he mentioned you're going to see that a lot of those guys will be getting reps in some of those roles, which I think is fantastic because you do have an inordinate number of elite players at running back that if you're talking about make-miss guys playing in space, if you tell me they can catch the football, well, let's get them out there. Let's get reps for players that are talented, that are electrifying, that can obviously be utilized above and beyond their standard role in the run game, because you have a guy who yesterday we were talking about, or earlier in the week I was saying we were talking about, is the prototype. I mean, you've got a guy that you want to get the bulk of the carries. I understand they're going to rotate lots of players, and you've got veterans and you've got talent, but everybody knows the man needs to get the ball 20-plus times a game.
Yes, and Jacques Patrick is going to complement Cam Akers, and that's what it does with the depth chart, is it loads it up for you.
So given that you have that kind of experience at the position and the different styles that those two individuals bring to the table, you can't waste those other backs that are so talented that could be a big part of this offense. Yeah. And I just like that those guys are going to have opportunities now to kind of fill in.
What I feel bad for, who I feel bad for, is Ryan Green. You missed it by 1 year, pal. You were here for 9 years.
Yeah.
And, missed it by 1 year because we could have used you in space. But, yeah, Zaquandre White or Kalen LeBourne.
LeBourne I love.
Yes, that's fine. And I think the beauty of the system, too, is we're not going to be held down by the fact that a freshman comes in and he has to redshirt automatically. So when we have a couple of freaks come in, because we did recruit a couple of high-level blue chippers, one from Seattle, another Warren Thompson down at Armwood. We have the kid that flipped from Tennessee at the last moment that they really like. Once we get to fall camp, those kids aren't going to be asked to
you just got to figure out how to get through spring.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just going to figure out how to get through spring. And then the only other thing that I thought was discouraging was hearing about the Bavion Johnson injury, aggravating again the knee injury. So, that's a kid that we've had high hopes for. The extent to which we're going to get something out of him this year remains to be seen. He could end up dominating. He could be great. He could not play. I don't know. But offensive line you always just hold your breath, and especially when you've had a guy that's been injury prone early on in his career. Doesn't mean he will continue to be, but that kind of set me back a little bit there.
Yeah, I wonder, too, what the heights and weights of these guys are going to look like. That's the number one thing, because it's going to tell me what we're built to do, right? Obviously, we have to get down the field, so you have to be in shape. But what kind of shape? I mean, are we talking West Virginia kind of let's lean them out a little bit because we're looking just for angles and points of attack, or are we looking to road grade in certain circumstances too? Because Willie does still have pro-style concepts to his offense, and he'll bring that up. Even though they're up-tempo, he does keep some pro-style concepts from the ground game. He wants to run the ball first to be able to open up the passing game.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get real lean, man. I just think your big guys are going to have to be in-shape big guys. And maybe by definition, they're doing more running, thus they'll have to lose a little bit of weight, or they will just naturally lose a little bit of weight in the process. But I don't think we're going to start recruiting smaller guys. I think football has changed to the place now where those big guys can be a part of an offense like this. You've seen that. It does exist now.
Yeah, agreed. And listen, this is the fun part of it all, is not, I mean, a game like Clemson now, you have to look at it completely differently, the trenches, especially on offense, because our offensive line is going to be asked to do something different. Well, what does that mean when we face an elite defensive front like Clemson's who has everyone back? How do we match up compared to how we matched up when we ran a pro-style offense? Do we take more heat off the offensive line in the way we run the ball? Or do we live and die by, establishing the dive on first down? And if they can stop that point of attack on first down and we're at 2nd and 9, does that completely throw us off kilter? These are the fun conversations ahead. Right now it's about staying healthy and getting used to the offense.
I need to bring up the fact that I think McKitty is going to be a star, and I have brought this up before, that just looking at that kid last year when we were down on the field, and you could tell, and Jimbo loved him. I mean, you saw an emerging star there. This is a big, athletic guy who I think will excel in this offense. We continue to talk about Terry, who right now, early in the process, has looked great. Again, most guys are going to look great right now. There's no pads on. But they did. We those two guys last year when we saw them in the open practice, we thought,
okay. So as we've concluded 2 open practices, I guess these are the few things I'm looking for. I want to see what a motivated and happy Marvin Wilson looks like. I want to see what Terry looks like against the ones and pads. Can he stack up against what we're going to bring to the table defensively? I want to see what Woodby brings to the table in the defense because
Lining
he's
up
getting
with the first team right now.
He's getting rave reviews, and he did so in workouts too. They said he's a physical freak, and if we're trying to get freaks on the field that are running and flying to the football, you combine a talent like that with somebody like a Hamza, somebody like a Stanford Samuels.
Yeah.
You're not going to be as dynamic as you were with Derwin James and Jalen Ramsey in the backfield, but you may be pretty damn dynamic anyway.
Might be noted that once again, the deep ball for James Blackman has been exceptional in these practices. We already knew that. I need him to be better, intermediate and underneath. I want to continue to monitor that. He can sometimes put a little much on those throws.
Well, and it's something you mentioned earlier in the day when we were just talking. Willie liked James Blackman's skill set for his offense when he was recruiting at USF.
That's right. Yeah, no, I think and James is doing and saying and all the right things and acting the role of a leader. And I'm just going to look at him now from a physical standpoint, just see if he can get a little bit better with certain throws. The deep ball is a thing of beauty. He's had it, and that's not going anywhere. He's got a strong arm. No worry there.
With the spacing we're going to use with wide receivers, putting him all the way
that.
by the coaches almost,
Yep,
yes.
We're going to need that. So he's got a lot of things going for him. I do need him to get better with the underneath and intermediate stuff. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
The one place I never take chances is the road, where Progressive Snapshot rewards your safe driving. A good driver plus Snapshot equals big discounts. And speaking of math, 1 + 1 = 2, little too late.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. AmeriGas Propane would like to take this time to thank their valued customers for their business. At AmeriGas, serving their customers in a safe and responsible manner is their top priority. They're proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we all work, live, and play. For your propane needs, call on AmeriGas Propane. Call 877-1122. Hooters of Tallahassee congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Hooters of Tallahassee, 2000 North Monroe Street. Remember, no great story ever started over breadsticks. Go Noles. Beat the Wolverines.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Celtics guard Kyrie Irving will have surgery on his left knee tomorrow. The team is calling the procedure minimally invasive. He's missed the last 4 games, and there won't be a timetable on Irving's return until after the surgery. The Sweet 16 wraps up tonight in Omaha and Boston. There's already an 11 seed into the Elite Eight, Loyola Chicago, coached by Porter Moser.
We've assembled a group of guys that have won before in their life. I mean, they got that gene. They believe. They don't feel it's over until the final buzzer. And I look back on that Miami game, trying to find ways to get it. We got to steal and a press. We're not a pressing team, and we found a way. And we got 7 guys on the team that won state championships.
Porter Moser, the coach of the Loyola Chicago Ramblers on Golick and Wingo. The NCAA has cleared the way for Purdue's Isaac Haas to play tonight against Texas Tech in Boston, but that doesn't mean he will. Haas now has approval to wear a brace on his fractured right elbow, but Coach Matt Painter isn't sure that Haas is yet ready to play.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Fascinating numbers. Today, basically yesterday, I should say, marks just a little over a month, 5 weeks, to the start of the NFL draft. Draft party coming up, buddy.
Yeah.
How about them apples?
That too.
Hard to imagine, right? But they had Sports and Info released some just staggering numbers. Sometimes we're mired. If you're a fan of a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl in a long time, say you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you're very, very, or if you're a fan of a team that's never won one, obviously, then you're frustrated and you wonder, when is it going to be your time? When is it you're going to make a run? When is it you have a team that can at least compete for it? And Minnesota fans got a taste of it a year ago, last season. They are at least a team to consider at the start of these seasons that is in the mix and got something going. And you just want to be a team of significance. You want to get back to that. You want to be in the fold, because it's not unlike the NCAA tournament. You give yourself opportunities. You feel like you got a shot. And then there's the Cleveland Browns, man, which every year at this time, without fail, are the topic of conversation, because they're always there ready to make that first pick.
This is their time.
Always. Doesn't matter who they take. It's always their time.
It ain't your time.
No, it's always, in perpetuity, the Cleveland Browns' time. And it's crazy, because I was going through these numbers after a start to the 2018 league year that featured a handful of trades and acquisitions. The Browns front office now turns its attention to the NFL draft, where it has the number 1 overall pick for the second consecutive year. It marks the 5th instance of a team having the number 1 overall pick in consecutive years since the common draft era began way back in 1967. And so the number 1 overall pick in 2 straight years looks like this. In 2017, 2018, it's the Browns because both picks were the result of the worst record in football. 1999 to 2000, it was the Browns. That was because, that was the pick in first year back in the NFL. So, you know what? They got that pick. In 94, 95, it was the Bengals. They acquired it in a trade. And then my Buccaneers, our lowly Buccaneers back in 76, 77, picked first year in the NFL. And then in 86, 87, they did it because they picked it up in a trade. Cleveland has had the 4th overall pick it attained on draft day last year when Houston traded up to get Deshaun Watson. Since returning to the NFL in 1999, the Browns have drafted 7 players in the top 5. That is the most of any franchise. Excluding Myles Garrett, who was just a rookie last year, Joe Thomas is the only one of the Browns' previous 6 top 5 picks to play more than 5 years.
To even be an average pro.
I mean, that is nuts.
Man.
This is who they've had, and I guess it's specific to being still with Cleveland because some of these guys did go play. Well, one of these guys, only one, did go play football with other teams. But Trent Richardson, Braylon Edwards, Gerard Warren, Courtney Brown, Tim Couch. My word.
Thought Tim Couch was going to be the one.
Of Cleveland's 9 total picks in this year's draft, by the way, an NFL high by far, 5 of them come in the first 2 rounds. It's like if you're going to turn Cleveland around, you got 5 picks in the first 2 rounds?
You got to give me 3 of them. You got to hit on 3 of them, baby.
They would be the 7th team in the common draft era to have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, and the first team to do so since the Broncos did it back in 2009. And so, here we go. They traded for Tyrod Taylor. They are still expected to grab a quarterback with one of their first 2 picks, and they've had 28 different starting quarterbacks since 1999. That is 6 more than any other team.
This does seem like, and I know the current crop of quarterbacks is not lights out, but this does seem like the right plan, doesn't it? You have not a journeyman quarterback.
A stopgap.
But a stopgap who's average to above average. Stats say he's better than he is, but he's an above average NFL quarterback right at that line. And then you have the future, hopefully, waiting behind him. No pressure on the kid.
Yeah.
And then you can load the offense and defense with more weapons with your picks. I mean, if it's ever going to be the time.
You would think it's the right maneuver. Like a lot of teams follow this path. The Bears just did it. They went and got Glennon and then drafted Trubisky. And, just like that, it was.
But when they got Glennon, they told him we're not getting Trubisky.
No. But I don't care that they lied to Glennon. I mean, Glennon's whatever. But they went and got Glennon, and then they drafted Trubisky. Basically, what Cleveland has done now is they went and got Tyrod Taylor, and they're going to draft a quarterback. We've seen teams do this. San Francisco did it. I mean, this is what's happening. That's fine, and I would do that too, especially given what I just told you, 28 different starting quarterbacks since 1999, 6 more than any other team. They've had 1 Pro Bowl start in that time. Derek Anderson, lest we forget, in 2007 made the Pro Bowl. The hell is that? But he did. And he can beat the Bucs. We know that.
Oh, anytime.
Anytime. Doesn't matter who he's playing with or what role he plays. Third-string quarterback. It doesn't matter. He'll be there. But they've only had 1 year in which they that's crazy, where they had more touchdowns than interceptions.
Really? Well, on a Libations Friday, that is a sobering fact.
I mean, can you imagine God, dog. I mean, that is just, they have watched some sorry-ass quarterback play.
It's the quirk, right? I mean, they have a lot of obvious flaws, but it's the quirk that gets you if you're a super fan. With the Bucs, it was no kickoff returns in history.
Yeah, just weird stuff.
If I was the hyper fan of the Browns, I'd say, can we go positive in touchdown to interception ratio?
Well, and
can we
also,
go above 1,
just
please?
Somebody,
Ever?
Well, they have done it, but just the one time. It's unbelievable. By the way, they're projecting now because the Jets obviously shook things up with the draft order last week, and they completed that trade with the Colts to move up for the 3rd overall pick. And the Colts get the Jets' 6th overall pick, along with 2 second-round picks this year and a second-rounder in 2019. And that kind of shook things up, but also made it interesting. It's just the 4th time in the draft era the Jets have traded up for a top 5 overall pick. Most times any team has done that in the common draft era. The previous 3 players that they took, 0 Pro Bowl selections in their careers. So whenever they've done this, they have failed. They did it when they moved up to get Mark Sanchez.
That was not great, but he did win 2 road playoff games against the Patriots and the Colts, and he played well in those 2 games.
Dwayne Robertson is who they did on the defensive line in 2003.
Who?
And way back in 1980, before you were born, Johnny Lamb Jones at wide receiver.
Johnny Lamb Jones.
So here's what they're talking about that is interesting. It could very well be now that quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4 in this draft. Everybody there could use one. So this is what I do.
Right, yeah.
I go, okay, good. All of you take those sorry-ass quarterbacks, please, by all means.
Right.
Now that pushes Chubb back.
Yep.
All right. Can Quentin Nelson get to 7?
Right.
That's all I need. Can Quentin Nelson get to 7?
Chubb will go 5 or 6. So that means that you're guaranteed if you're not going to trade down. From my perspective, which is I have a little
him
bit
or
more
Minka.
Him or Minka.
That's what you're guaranteed. Well,
okay.
No, not necessarily. You're guaranteed Chubb, Nelson, or Minka.
Right. I mean, and
one
if Chubb
of those
falls to
3.
you at 7, I mean, that's good value at 7. I get it, what we think about, maybe not. But if he falls to you at 7, it's like the O.J. Howard thing. How can you not?
Oh, you have to do it, but I'll be so pissed off. I mean, it'd be that.
This is what the draft does. You don't think about how mad you're going to get. You actually get mad. That's why mock drafts work. That's why people click on them, because it actually makes you get as mad as you would as if the team selected it. There's a permanence to a mock draft, which is why it's the phenomenon that it is.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Man,
if we took Derwin.
If we're that close,
and Nelson was on the board, what the hell is wrong with us?
No. That I will have to leave the premises, because then I become a traitor and everything else, and I can't vent.
Right, you can't be a buck. You always have to be a buccaneer. You can't just be a buccaneer.
Yeah,
not even for a second.
Seriously, you can't. That can't happen. Right? There's no way. If Quentin Nelson's on the board.
Listen, what Charlie Campbell says, they have very high opinions of both Nelson and Derwin James. So we'll see.
But he said their opinion of Nelson is through the roof.
That he's a Hall of Famer, Jeff.
Yes, that he is a potential Hall of Famer. You can't not draft a potential Hall of Famer at a position of need.
Derwin James is a great athlete. And Derwin may be an all-pro. I'm not laughing at the expense of Derwin. This is just because you value Quentin Nelson above anything not named your kids or your wife.
No, it's the obvious pick. He's the only can't-miss prospect in the draft, according to most of the people that have watched him in depth play football. And did you see his interview yesterday?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sure you did.
I did. It was something. You want that guy. I'm telling you do. You're going to love him. When we get him.
Impressive. Impressive young man.
When we get him, you're going to go, thank God.
I don't really care about the media availabilities of my offensive linemen, but even still.
The problem is the Denver Broncos are not going to take Chubb at 5. They're going to take Quentin Nelson because they want an offensive lineman. Chubb's going to go to the Colts. So what we have at 7 is either Minka or Derwin. The only team if we have to worry about is Denver at 5. If Quentin Nelson gets past Denver, we're going to get him. That's it. We're going to get him. Oh, buddy.
Look at what you worked yourself up into. This is supposed to be the break from the stress of the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
If we get him, buddy, that's it. Ball game changer.
Super Bowl. Championship.
Well, you got a Hall of Famer on your offensive line right off the bat. I mean, good Lord.
With Ali Marpet back at guard, got yourself a real center.
Domination. Man, this is... Get ready to celebrate. We'll have a Super Bowl watch party in the summer.
It's called the draft party.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
Dito's Burritos, my friend.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. March is here. That means another fiscal year end for Nissan Corporate. And while the other dealers' year ended in December, Nissan's is March 31st. And that means only Kraft Nissan has December savings in March. Seriously, factory has given Kraft Nissan a very aggressive number. I mean, big number to hit by month's end. Most dealers would not even try to hit that number because there's an all or nothing cash reward. But based on setting all-time records 3 years in a row, I'm betting Kraft Nissan will set another all-time record. And to do so, I'm drastically lowering prices and passing that cash reward onto you. So if you thought you missed year-end savings, you haven't missed Nissans. Plus, all new Nissans come with Kraft Nissan's exclusive free lifetime warranty. And this month, free maintenance for 2 years or 20,000 miles. Altimas, Maximas, and Rogues have savings up to $6,000. Titans have 0% for 72 months. Available no money down and no payments until June. At Kraft Nissan, our prices and discounts cannot be beat because we share our fiscal year-end bonus with you. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Financing through NMAC with approved credit.
My, oh my, brothers and sisters, it's back again. Major League Baseball is here. Join us Thursday, March the 29th. That's right. It's early this year for an MLB opening day celebration at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. This annual tradition at the CP celebrates the beauty that is baseball and features $2 pints, $2 dogs, and every Jeff Cameron Show listener gets a free piece of apple pie. Now, what's more American than baseball, hot dogs, beer, and apple pie? And the CP. It's a beautiful thing. So join us Thursday, March 29th at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill for Jeff Cameron Show's celebration, a day of watching baseball together. We'll see you there.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Break, and I had a hey, wait a minute moment. Wait a minute, just 1 second here. If the first 4 picks are all quarterbacks, so it's Sam Darnold, because he throws in the rain. And then it's followed up.
I want to know, does Sam Darnold throw in the rain?
And then in some combination, it's Josh Allen and Rosen and Baker Mayfield. All right. So then there you go. All right. Now the 5th pick goes to Denver. And they take Quentin Nelson, which would devastate me. And the 6th pick goes to Indianapolis, and they take Bradley Chubb, which, whatever. You know who's on the board? Saquon Barkley is still on the board at 7.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, you would have to, at that point, say, I don't.
No, wait a minute. The quarterbacks aren't going 1 through 4. Cleveland's got 2 picks. So they're not taking 2 quarterbacks.
They should.
So Saquon's going to be off the board, and then quarterbacks. So that's what's going to happen.
Which gets us to 6.
In some order. In some order, you're going to have 3 quarterbacks and Saquon. I don't think Denver's going to take a quarterback. Well, actually, maybe they might.
Well, they just
signed
yeah.
They just signed Keenum, but that's not a long-term solution.
Well, one wouldn't think. But they don't. They're not going to do that. Denver won't. Do we need to move up to 5 is what I'm saying?
At what cost? We just gave up a 3rd-round pick for JPP.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd package anything past the 4th round.
You'd trade the draft for Quentin Nelson.
Not the draft. I don't care about my 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. I'd give them all. I'd say, here, take the 5th, 6th, and 7th. We're grabbing Quentin Nelson. Get the hell up out of here. We've won the draft. I'll do it.
You do the Ditka.
That's not the Ditka. Ditka gave up, like, the franchise. Like, every first-round pick he had for the next 5 years. I'm saying...
Don't need him.
No.
Maybe you do. I don't.
Yeah, no.
I've got a superstar.
You don't care anything about a 6th or a 7th. The only pick that you would miss is the 5th.
Yeah. 5th.
Well, we have a 4th. We have the Giants' 4th, so we could give up the 4th and the 5th round picks, keep the 6th and 7th, or give up a 4th and a 7th. Well, that's not going to work. No. I'm just talking wishful thinking.
No, because what the Jets just gave up to move up to 3.
I know.
The prices.
It's just ridiculous. I'm just desperate.
Yes, that's true.
6'5", 330 pounds, a badass who can play tackle, can play guard, is mean, wants to hurt you, can't wait. Has said he wants to be a Hall of Famer, isn't hurt ever. What are we doing here?
He's the guy you'd want to marry your daughter or your son. You understand?
He's the guy that 2 different general managers told numerous people, but our friend Charlie Campbell, that he would have been the best guard prospect in last year's draft if he hadn't come back for his senior season. So he would have been a first-round pick last year.
Yeah, it's the Andrew Luck effect. Because Andrew would have gone number 1 overall if he didn't come back for his senior season at Stanford.
Yeah.
Same thing, except this is an offensive lineman.
And that's what I mean. Listen, I'm half joking here, but there is no such thing. We do know this in the NFL draft. I mean, in that, you're just trying to eliminate certain aspects and percentages. So you're trying to give yourself the best opportunity. Nobody can predict whether or not somebody's going to get hurt or have something happen, but he really does, just like Andrew Luck did, project to be very, very good.
And this is a different, position. He's a guard.
Yeah.
Typically if you're a can't-miss guard, it's 12 to 16. This guy really could be a top 5 pick if there was a need for him in the top 5. If somebody circled and said offensive line is our number 1 priority. That's for tackles. That's never for guards. Except for this guy, apparently.
Well, there was an article I read the other day when they were talking about Denver likely looking in and zeroing in on Quentin Nelson. And in the article, several quote-unquote league sources, take that for what it's worth, said that Nelson is the highest-graded guard they'd ever scouted. So, first of all, guards don't go in the top 5. It's just you don't take a guard in the top 5.
That's what I'm saying.
But the fact that people are talking about taking a guard in the top 5 is why you desperately want Quentin Nelson.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying every damn day. At the top of my lungs. We're saying the same thing.
We did.
We got a freak. Do what you got to do. When was the last time we had a dominant, ass-kicking offensive lineman, like a guy that you just like to watch play? Look at that guy.
I don't know.
Just crushed. You
can't ask the 10-year-old me because I didn't look at such
Paul
things.
freaking Gruber. I mean, you got to go back to McKay-era football, man. It's crazy.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TCC, FAMU, and FSU men's or ladies games. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Cornerstone Tool & Fastener congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu. Go Noles, beat the Wolverines.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos Burritos, baby.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Celtics guard Kyrie Irving will have surgery on his left knee tomorrow. The team is calling the procedure minimally invasive. He's missed the last 4 games, and there won't be a timetable on Irving's return until after the surgery. The Sweet 16 wraps up tonight in Omaha and Boston. There's already an 11 seed into the Elite Eight, Loyola Chicago, coached by Porter Moser.
We've assembled a group of guys that have won before in their life. I mean, they got that gene. They believe. They don't feel it's over until the final buzzer. And I look back on that Miami game, trying to find ways to get it. We got to steal and a press. We're not a pressing team, and we found a way. And, we got 7 guys on the team that won state championships.
Porter Moser, the coach of the Loyola Chicago Ramblers on Golick and Wingo. The NCAA has cleared the way for Purdue's Isaac Haas to play tonight against Texas Tech in Boston, but that doesn't mean he will. Haas now has approval to wear a brace on his fractured right elbow, but Coach Matt Painter isn't sure that Haas is yet ready to play.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
For this week on a glorious Elite 8 Libations Friday edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. I don't care how much we talk about it, it still sounds weird. When I say it aloud, I get the tingly spine sensation. Still in celebration mode. Not tired. Am tired, but not tired. Very tired, but not feeling tired at all. Because that's what happens when you don't sleep in celebration. It's okay. You have the added adrenaline to get you through the day, which all of Tallahassee no doubt needs right about now. Many of you checking out of work saying, oh, thank God, I'm going to drink. I'm going to celebrate our win last night that I couldn't in proper fashion because it was a work day.
Well, and given that the tip tomorrow night is closer to 9 p.m., it's more reasonable than it has been to this point. But yeah.
It's still a little ridiculous.
On the
At
late
some
side.
point, are we?
That's life in the West bracket. That's the one thing about being in the West bracket. So it does make sense.
Well, that's life when you just keep winning all the games in the tournament. When you just keep beating every single team that you play. And oh, by the way, this was an ass beating. Gonzaga never had a chance. They weren't good enough. That is simply remarkable to say and mean and not be arrogant about, but accurate. That first 7 or 8 minutes, you're going, ooh, I dare say Gonzaga's in trouble. They're not athletic enough. They're not big enough. They're not quick enough. They're not deep enough. They're not as talented as Florida State University. I also think that as we watch the moments in all of these games play out in which the intensity level is raised, the magnitude of the possession is heightened, that you see Florida State's run through the ACC paying huge dividends. You just can see it on the faces of some of these teams that did not play games like this night in and night out. That was true of Xavier, and it certainly was true last night of Gonzaga, who plays in a garbage conference. And I don't think they're a garbage program. In fact, they're a great program. They are as consistently good as almost anybody, and they deserve credit for that. But the truth is, and I said it yesterday on the show, I don't know which Gonzaga I'm going to see because they go to the tournament every year, literally 20 straight years. And some of those versions of Gonzaga have looked different than others, where you go, oh, they've got some NBA players. That's really good. That ranking is deserved this year. They could go to the Final Four or win it all, like last year's version. But some years they've gone to the tournament and you've gone, man, I see you won 30 games and that's sorry conference years again. And you doubt them and you look at them and you wonder how they would have stacked up in a real conference. And I know I'm waving the flag here, but in truth, you watch this thing play out and you just see again how the rigors and the depth of talent in this league prepares you for these moments where the intensity is at its highest.
Yeah, I think a couple of things are true. Number one, what you're saying absolutely is true. This is a conference and a slate that prepares you for moments like this. But we also, our team's identity, we had a tough chin to begin with. It only made our chin even stronger. But you saw it in non-conference play.
That's true.
You saw it on the road against Florida. The Rutgers game, which was really hard for this team, and it's laughable to think about that
so
given
early
what
in the
Rutgers
year, though,
was.
yeah.
But given that situation, you're on the road. It's ACC Big Ten Challenge, and Rutgers is playing a really good game. The referees are on Rutgers' side that night. I think we both agree on that. And what resilience do you show? A ton of it. A ton. So, this team has had it in its DNA, but it has all the more experience to go with it. And so when you see the starry-eyed look in Gonzaga's face for much of the first half and then the second half, once we, again extend the lead with about, 6-7 minutes to go, we don't. This is right where we always are. This is nothing new to us. It may be to you, but not to us.
Two critical moments in this game, I thought. One was the 8-0 run to end the first half after Gonzaga had gone on a 15-0 run and switched to zone and really caused us to bog down. And, that is a bugaboo for this team. We do struggle against that. Now, I get a million emails in those moments from people saying, well, here we go again. We don't know what to do against the zone. Listen, you have an identity as a team. There are things you do really well and there are things you do poorly. That's true of every single team that plays in the tournament. You know our weakness because you watch us every single night. I got it. But I guarantee you that Gonzaga fans are looking at that game and very, very concerned, even in the midst of a 15-0 run, because they're saying, well, Florida State does some things well that we don't do well, that we aren't prepared to handle. That's every team. Just because you're hyper-focused on the weakest elements of this team, just get that through your head.
Yeah, think about it this way. In the second half, if you're a Gonzaga fan, you're saying, why can't we ever get to the basket? Why can't we get to the basket? What's wrong with us?
Of course.
We need to coach them better so we can get to the basket, not taking into account that we absolutely packed it.
And
we
refuse to let you to
drive.
get to the basket. We're also bigger than you and longer than you and deeper than you. We're all of those things.
Right.
I know what I just described, but I'm saying we are those things. We are all
I
of
have
those
no
things.
Idea. On a Libations Friday, I got no
idea.
idea.
We are very talented.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the point would be that we present certain challenges. These tournaments are always about matchups. And maybe the next matchup isn't a good one for us in Michigan. Maybe. We'll see. But these first few have been good matchups, and Florida State has dispatched of these teams. And I think, I dare say, there have been moments in every one of these games where this coaching staff thoroughly outcoached the other staff. Now, people don't like to bring that up because it doesn't fit their narrative, but that's what's happened. And in addition to that, the team has out-executed and outplayed. They have been better prepared, and they have won the moments that were critical in these games that allowed them to have a special run late against Xavier, down double digits, to blow out Missouri, and to blow out Gonzaga. Again, you're talking about a win last night, and we all know Mark Few is a very, very good coach. You might even throw him in that great category.
Looks like Rorschach with Mr. Davis's haircut, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's
like Al Davis's son's haircut. If you put Rorschach in that, you would know what I'm talking about.
There were a lot of platitudes thrown Florida State's way after this game for all of the things that they handled and handled well and in the way and the manner in which they won. But some of the things that stood out to me is that no matter what you think of what this version of Gonzaga is, and admittedly they were a little shorthanded last night, it might have been a different-looking game to some extent had that young man played. But that said, the thing that I really thought was interesting was this was their worst offensive performance in 7 years for Gonzaga. It was also one of the worst and most lopsided losses they've had in the last 5 seasons. So this is not a program or a team that is accustomed to the kind of manhandling they received last night to get to the Elite Eight. I mean, this is a team that this doesn't happen to them, and they do play good competition. I mean, out of conference, they
schedule tough, yeah.
Yeah, so there have been moments where they could have been run off the floor the way they were run off the floor last night, and it hasn't happened for them in almost 5 years. And it's interesting that we were the team to do it. And, again, a lot of this, too, without being overly boastful about the program and, you know, this magical run, a lot of this, too, I think, is something we did identify early in the year that we liked about the team. And that is, I think, you know, I remember saying this, and I thought after we got off the air the day that I said it that maybe it came across as a backhanded compliment to Hamilton, and I didn't mean it to. But I said, this is the kind of team Ham's better with. Not having a one-and-done, not having a guy that you've got to find the ball. You know, you got to get the ball to because you're only going to have him for a year, and you got to take advantage. He sometimes struggles to take, I think, an elite-level talent, a one-and-done type talent, and incorporate it into what he wants to do philosophically for team basketball. I think he struggles sometimes with that. That this was the kind of team that he would be better suited for, that he does his best job with. I've said that about Martin before, by the way.
Yes, you have.
That a lot of times 11 is really good with teams that are frankly lacking talent. And, you know, the elite teams where the expectation is that you should cruise to the College World Series, you kind of wonder, will he get a little uptight about, or will he do some things that are kind of silly? Can he get out of his own way? Can he not, you know, step in the way? Just let guys be guys. And so I thought this team fit that. This team kind of really would be the type of team that would buy into the big picture stuff that Ham likes to talk about, the team concept that Ham likes to preach to. And they have. They really have all year long. And it's evident when you watch this team in this tournament. But the other thing that's new that has really aided this club in the postseason, I should say, in the NCAA tournament, that we were begging for all year and just couldn't get, that they finally turned the switch to, and we really can be forever grateful because we've enjoyed the magical run because of it, almost specifically because of it. And that is they have bought into the defensive principles and the defensive intensity of yesteryear, the ones we were known by for so long. This group in the tournament is defending their ass off. They get in the passing lanes. They challenge. They have active hands. They attempt to block every shot. They're rebounding well. They're doing all of those things. They get up on you. They challenge you to blow past them. And the teams we've faced just haven't had a guy that could do it. Now, there are teams that do. And, you know, we're not always good on the perimeter at protecting the blow-by. You know, we will give that up. Guys get to the rack. Certain teams have players like that. This run hasn't featured any team that had that player. They have not had a player, any of these teams, that could consistently beat our guys up top.
Well, it's a combination of the two, right? I mean, it's us playing better defense that we haven't seen all season long, plus the fact that there may not be a dynamic talent on the other side. I don't know where one stops and the other one starts, but one thing I will say is that even when we would allow a blow-by, I mean, in order to get to the basket, you got to get under the rim, around the rim.
Yeah, we're contesting everything.
Contested looks, you got to alter even the first half,
They
right?
made a ton of tough shots. I said, if you're going to make that shot, then good on you.
Even in the first half, when they go on their 12-15 nothing run, whatever it is, there are 2 or 3 shots that are altered. The trajectory is altered because our bigs are altering shots. And if you're going to hit one high off the glass, I mean really high off the glass, or you're going to teardrop it over an extended arm of an Obiagu or Kumaje, well, I'm going to tip my cap. And I'm going to take my chances that you can't do that at better than, what, a 30% clip?
Yeah.
And if you do,
well, then
so
deserve it.
freaking be it, and you deserve it. But the shots that they got, even in the second half, too, some of the shots when the game was back in the balance and they get it down to a couple possessions. Man, those are so hard. That's such hard offense. It's not sustainable.
It took them 10 minutes to cut it to 4.
Yeah.
The other part of that is a sneaky element to this game last night that I would not have seen coming, and I don't know how that I could. We were better than Gonzaga in the half court in the second half. The last 10 minutes of this game is us playing in the half court. We run so much clock and then beat them to the basket and find ways to score.
Well, yeah, it was a continuation of the first half where when they play man-to-man to start, they've got nothing for us.
No, and
we beat them
knew
to
that
every
quickly.
spot. Well,
They knew
yeah,
that
and
quickly.
that's why they make the adjustment, and that's why, obviously, this is a game just before halftime when we pull back away and assert ourselves. But we were just consistently speaking last night, we were quicker to everything, both offensively and defensively. If they were going to play man up, they had no chance.
It's really kind of crazy to imagine that we looked like the fresher team. To be out there, the quick turnaround, the flight to Los Angeles. We talked about that. There was some fear that this group at some point would show the signs of heavy legs. No, not at all. Buoyed by the moment, perhaps. A firm belief in each other. Winning begets winning. You begin to feel like you're going to win. You're going to do the things. You're going to make the plays necessary to win. They learned how to win. I think last year's experience for a lot of these role players in the NCAA tournament is paying dividends. I've talked about it. You've talked about it. We talked about it on headlines. It's common sense. The point of giving yourself a lot of chances and getting to the NCAA tournament is that, you never know when you're going to get a run based on matchups that really favor you. You got to get back every year, and maybe you get one of those, right, where you get some things that favor you or you get the right draw, whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that's solely what's happened here. They've made their own luck.
Oh, beat a 1 seed.
Yeah, they beat a 1 seed, right? So that's a big damn deal. But they've now beaten a 1 and a 4. So, yeah, I mean, they've done some things, right?
What you want.
Yeah. But I will say that gaining that experience, learning from the moments where you were overwhelmed and you didn't give yourself a chance to believe and those kinds this run, they've only gotten better. That Xavier comeback now I think has them believing that they're going to win these games. They came out last night like a team that believed they were going to win the game and played in a way that really showed some reckless abandon. I mean, it was controlled, but they were wanting to go ahead and complete what they thought was theirs to rightfully complete, right? I mean, it was weird. Some teams that are quote-unquote Cinderella teams that don't come from the ACC, need a moment. They need something to happen where all of a sudden they play way above their heads. I don't get the sense that in any one of these games, Florida State has played way above their head.
No, agreed. And this was a night where you look at the bench, look at the Florida State bench, and you see some things that we've seen from other teams, nights that Xavier might have beaten us last year.
Right.
A comfort level early on. Nobody seemed flustered. Everybody was smiling. They're like, this is exactly what we expected to happen. As it's happening in the formative stages.
It's crazy.
Not after we've pulled away and we're up with a minute and a half to go and the lead is insurmountable. But it is also worth noting that you do need a couple of bounces along the way. I mean, obviously, the play at the rim last night in the second half as we're trying to close this thing out, and man loses control of the ball, bounces back to him, he puts it in. There's a missed free throw, and we get the rebound.
Well, they steady missed free throws, the Zags did, yeah.
Well, they did, but we missed one, and we got the rebound. I mean, there were a couple of things that did go our way to make it more comfortable than it would have been, but make no mistake, the final score is indicative of who the better team was last night, and that was us. And it, again, speaks to this new narrative about depth. It was a lazy talking point about Florida State that
earlier
we had
in the
depth.
year, yeah. I mean, we had it. It just wasn't quality depth. It was depth you use sometimes to spell starters, but it didn't help you extend the lead. The depth now is coming off the bench and dominating.
Right, exactly right. Again, it was something that people held on to, just like our defensive reputation from the years we did make the tournament. And it wasn't true. It didn't apply to this team.
Playing defense now.
But now it does. What's crazy is now when the national eyes are actually upon our team,
we're actually doing
they're
all
being
the things.
reinforced for the lazy narrative they
Yeah.
carried all season long. But you know what? I'm fine with that. If that's the casualty of us making the Elite Eight and playing complete basketball, then so friggin' be it.
Yeah, and, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow night. Just like I didn't think we'd beat Xavier, and I didn't think we'd win last night. I said I wouldn't be shocked if we won. I wouldn't be stunned at any point if we won. But I didn't feel good enough to pick us to win the game. Here's what I knew going into the season that I feel proud about, that the program had reached a place in recruiting and depth and talent and skill that they could make it back to the tournament when a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen, despite losing 3 players of NBA caliber. And I also knew that the team was long enough and liked each other enough, just from talking to people over there, and athletic enough that they could give people problems, at least to make the tournament, right? And we thought from that point forward, everything else is gravy. And, oh, by the way, that's a hell of an accomplishment. You can be proud of it. And now anything else we get is going to be a lot of fun. And it has been. It's been an amazing run, and it's great to be proven right, and it's good to hear or not hear from all the ham haters right now who have to sit back and, much to their chagrin, watch a guy take out 2 coaches, I might add, who are considered to be very elite.
Yeah, and out-coaching them in the process.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to watch. And believe me, I revel in that. There's a whole lot of joy in that.
And the thing for that person is you can't talk about process now because all you've talked about are freaking results. Here they are.
Oh, yeah.
Not circumstances, not context. Never. That was never applicable in our situation.
No.
So you're not allowed to talk about context or anything now either.
No, you can just continue to shut the hell up. And it's beautiful. And if it were a nuanced point you were making, the select few we're talking to,
correct,
fine. But it never was.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I will say this. No matter what happens, yet again, I'm so happy for the kids. I am. This has been a lovable bunch. We can all puff our chests and say, my point was right and you were wrong and ha-ha. And, yeah, believe me, I'm not beneath that. I mean,
not with this particular storyline.
No. Yeah. But in truth, I really find myself when I'm watching these games, I'm a Nolan excited, and I'm cheering just like everybody does for their team, but I'm happy for this group of kids that, by all rights, are really good kids. I know enough people at the university who work outside of athletics, who work with them in academics, who work with the kids in various forms, that rave about Leonard's teams and Leonard himself and these kids and how good they are, and when they're responsible and they do what they're supposed to do, they go to class, they graduate, they do, that it makes me proud of them and happy for them. Maybe I'm just old enough now where I'm just proud of people, but I really am happy and proud of them.
Well, it's on a different level. It's a more complete level of pride. And the cool thing about last night that doesn't always happen, in fact, it hardly ever happens, every player that set foot on the court last night did something positive, contributed to the win. Every single one of them.
I mean,
go up and down the box score, and you can think of a play or two at minimum that every one of those guys made, from Trent Forrest on down to Brandon Allen.
Well, yeah, you can. And what by the way, it's interesting you bring up the Brandon Allen play at the end of the half, because that celebration by his teammates in that moment, again, revealing what we already know to be true. They love each other from the deepest ends of the bench to the starting 5, right? I mean, when he made that play, they're all celebrating, running over to him. That's the stuff that you hope to foster. It's the stuff you want to happen organically. It's the stuff you hope is real and not just talked about because every coach says it, hoping that it becomes true or that it is true. But it is. With this group, it is. It's the only way a run like this really is possible. I mean, in truth, this is a team, as good as they've played, that lost 11 games this year and at times looked bad. I mean, at times left you scratching your head. At times left you very frustrated. I'm talking about Wake or Notre Dame or the first BC game, which was kind of understandable. But you know what I mean. Moments where you just were, Oh, man, I don't know.
NC State on the road,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, just I don't know.
First half of the Louisville ACC tournament game.
And I'm not even talking about games that you lose. I'm not bringing them up just because you lost them. People lose games. It's a tough league. I mean, you lose games. It happens. You also have a lot of significant wins. You've now beaten Xavier. You've beaten Gonzaga. You've beaten North Carolina. You beat Florida on the road. You beat a lot of good teams all year. You beat Clemson. You beat Miami. You beat a lot of good teams. But Syracuse is, still in it. But
that's true.
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Yeah, so you beat them too.
Well, how about your boy last night? He's like, oh, well, they scored 101 points on the 2-3.
You didn't mention the double overtime.
You might want to mention the most important part here, pal.
I loved it. I was proud of him. I'm like, don't bring up the double overtime. Just keep talking.
I was wondering if Reggie. Yeah, well, that was in double overtime.
He wouldn't have had any idea.
Yeah, I know. You could tell, right?
Yeah, and he knew the guy saying it knew it too. Yeah,
I was proud of myself last night because. Reggie called somebody by the wrong name last night. I mean, clearly in the first half, a couple times.
Well, he thought at one point that Angola was man.
Mm-hmm.
That Angola went to
right,
the basket.
That's right.
Yeah, and then he called him man, and I'm like, that's Angola.
My girlfriend was like, "What's wrong?" I said, well, "That's okay. He'll learn because he's going to call our game on Saturday."
Yeah.
Call the shot.
Yeah, well done, Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Just spring football practice, including the latest on position battles, coach and player interviews, video features, and in-depth analysis. WarChant.com's 3-team writers Gene Williams, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark have 50 years of experience covering the Seminoles. And WarChant.com is the only FSU media outlet with a dedicated, full-time recruiting analyst in Tallahassee with the latest on the 2019 class. For your 30-day free trial subscription, head to WarChant.com and use promo code WarChant30.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Makes you smile. That's a year-round thing with this song. Makes me smile every time I hear it.
Agreed.
Why don't we do a little more watching, less washing? There's a lot to get to here.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
Damn Skippy, our friends at Wash Around the Clock make your life easier. They make mine and Tom's easier. They should be making yours easier, saving time. Time is money. Easy Laundry. Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com, click on it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's Easy Laundry. You'll see it there on the webpage. Pick up delivery at your home or your office. Ultimate convenience is the key here, right? Just they give you these cool giant red duffel bag like things with a drawstring. It's beautiful. You bring it in, you go, yep, need that cleaned. They do it. Then they bring it back later in the week. They go, there you go. It's all folded nicely and hung up nicely. And they'll do, they'll do not just your laundry, but they'll do dry cleaning and pressing, anything you really need. And you can set up the schedule, whether that's once a week, once every other week, 3 times a week, whatever it is, they've got you covered. And they're saving you an awful lot of time, and that's everything. And if you're like me, and maybe you're not, but if you got kids and you got a job and your wife does too, and you're busy as hell, it's not a lot of fun when you get home and you have a mountain of clothes to wash and dry and fold and put away. It's time-consuming. We get that. And that's why I endorse and love the service of my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com, your one-stop local laundry service.
Yeah, they're the best. And if you like eco-friendly and that's your thing, they're also eco-friendly. You can take
true.
all the hangers they give you, they're like the cleaner hangers, the wire ones, put them right back in the bag with your load of dirty laundry, and they take them, they reuse them. They're really conscious of your time. They make sure that they work on your time, whether it's home or at the office. And they're also very communicative. You get an email every morning. There's delivery. There's reminders.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Everything you want. And, man, the red duffel bag is as certain these days as our Noles defensive effort, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Well, and if we're going to talk about watching and not washing, we're going to talk about tomorrow night as Florida State takes on Michigan just before 9 o'clock. And the Noles are fighting for an opportunity to go to the Final Four. And I have to admit, I can't even say it out loud without getting to be like a giddy schoolgirl. It's ridiculous. I'm a kid in a candy store. Here's the thing. I thought they'd be better than a lot of people thought, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I thought they'd have a chance to make the Final freaking Four. Nobody could. It's been a remarkable run. It is something we're going to remember for a long time. It really is. And we all have these moments, whether they be the 3 national championships Florida State has in football, College World Series appearances in baseball, and big moments that we came up a little short in those World Series, but some incredible games and comebacks and wins. I remember when J.D. Drew hit the home run against Oklahoma out there in the 9th inning, and I can remember a lot of the comeback against Stanford for extra innings and all these different games. We all have these things that are etched in our memories. And there have been very few over the years for Florida State in basketball. The ACC championship, in which you make a run and beat both North Carolina and Duke, is incredible. Duke and North Carolina is incredible. the Sweet 16 run the last time we made it there back in 2011. 2011, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
After we beat Notre Dame, who was a 2 seed, we beat them senseless. That was an amazing moment. And even though we came up just short in that game, heartbreakingly so, that was a great game. I'll always remember it, unfortunately.
Yeah, VCU. Inbound play.
There's a gazillion football ones.
Guard the baseline.
Yeah, that's a toughie. We'll always remember, I don't know, any number of football ones. But with basketball, the early 90s, yep, I remember the Sweet 16 Elite 8 runs. I remember losing to Kentucky, and that was frustrating, but still being really proud of the team and what a great run it was. And now here we sit in the Elite 8, and you're playing for the right to be one of the last 4 teams in the entire country still standing. It's just somewhat unimaginable, and it makes you proud, and it makes you happy, and it's one that will, no matter what happens in this game against Michigan, you're going to remember for a very, very long time.
And you can watch that game on TBS tomorrow night. Again, the doubleheader where it's Loyola Chicago, Kansas State begins just after 6 o'clock on TBS 421 Xfinity here in Tallahassee.
You can hear it right here.
You can hear it right here on these airwaves. You can hear every game, and that includes tonight's action, the 4 games that are in play from about 7 till midnight.
Which I'll be watching.
Our partners at Westwood One do an incredible job. And if you were driving around town, if work forced you to...
Well, if you were listening to the Loyola Chicago game last night, which was incredible, you were happy.
It's funny, as you were texting me about that game, and I couldn't watch it because of other obligations. I do a Lightning podcast, so I had to watch the game. Yes. Yeah. And then once I got a break in the hockey game, I flip over. Loyola Chicago advances. What a game.
You're like...
Damn it, man.
That game was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
We'll get a good look at those 2 teams, obviously, tomorrow night. But the doubleheader, again, is on TBS. So, very funny, whatever. Just lock it in on 421.
Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com. Check out my friends. Wash around the clock. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Saving! Race into Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC for the best selection and service in Tallahassee. Get incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles, like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers, like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car, yes sir.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Celtics guard Kyrie Irving will have surgery on his left knee tomorrow. The team is calling the procedure minimally invasive. He's missed the last 4 games, and there won't be a timetable on Irving's return until after the surgery. The Sweet 16 wraps up tonight in Omaha and Boston. There's already an 11 seed into the Elite Eight, Loyola Chicago, coached by Porter Moser.
We've assembled a group of guys that have won before in their life. I mean, they got that gene. They believe. They don't feel it's over until the final buzzer. And I look back on that Miami game, trying to find ways to get it. We got to steal and a press. We're not a pressing team, and we found a way. And we got 7 guys on the team that won state championships.
Porter Moser, the coach of the Loyola Chicago Ramblers on Golick and Wingo. The NCAA has cleared the way for Purdue's Isaac Haas to play tonight against Texas Tech in Boston, but that doesn't mean he will. Haas now has approval to wear a brace on his fractured right elbow, but Coach Matt Painter isn't sure that Haas is yet ready to play.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Guys laughing. Talking a little bit about the kind of fun and games we're going to have in the NCAA tournament. He held on to the hangry line. He said it again.
He did. I know he used it a couple days ago.
He used it, I think, last night. He told somebody that they were still hangry.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He said that in the lead up to last night's game, too.
He trotted it out there as new material on the Jeff Cameron Show just before getting out there.
Well, he clearly loves it.
Our team is very hungry. Hopefully, though, that we can be just a little hungrier. Maybe we can be hangry.
He loves the line. I did too initially, but he keeps laughing after I stop. He's really pleased with himself.
You know what that means. When somebody explained to him what hangry means, he just thought that was the best.
Oh, he loved it. Leonard's charming and endearing. When you talk to him, sometimes it's funny. He can be very intense, too, as everybody can see. But if you get to him talking about even sort of off-the-court stuff or certain individuals on the team or moments that they have in practice or something that he did in the off-season, it's little stuff like that that makes you like him a lot. He's hilarious. I ran into him at the Whole Foods not all that long ago. Again, I've seen him there 7 times. And he always stops. He's always in his FSU jumpsuit, just perusing the aisle for some fruit.
Living comfortably.
Oh, very. After this run, even more so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an incentive-laden contract. Who could be mad about that?
Oh, no. I'm celebrating for him every time. Like, ooh, upgrade if you want to, Leonard. You can do whatever you want to do.
Would you like to make a donation to the practice facility, sir?
I mean, my goodness gracious, he can. Don't forget, while we're sitting here talking, I'll have to go check it here after the show's over, but we're in the midst of a doubleheader, or header as it's known, between Florida State and North Carolina in
focus
baseball.
on that next week.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying that's going on. It's a fun series, and after the 2 games today, there's the game on Sunday. So they're not playing tomorrow. If you were looking for it, they're not playing tomorrow. It's good. We don't need any more stuff on the plate tomorrow.
No.
We don't need all of that. I got both my boys are playing games tomorrow, and then they've got all kinds. Then we got the game tomorrow night, and I can't be focused on Florida State baseball right now. There's Florida State football practice. By the way, if you missed it earlier in the show, Naquan Murray out for the rest of spring. Okay.
Well, DJ Matthews, you might be the superstar by default because of all the reps you're going to get and the head start you're going to get. But
Tameron Terry as well. And
it is also lethal simplicity. So one would think, a single camp and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, it's not a matter of complexity. You are right. You like people to be able to get into a rhythm with one another within this offense and get used to the pace and all those sorts of things. But we know Naquan can play, and he's going to be incentivized to play. You got to go get paid, man. So I do feel for him. I hate that the injury occurred, but he's out for the rest of the spring if you missed it. Now, as for Florida State, the observation by and large at practice has been about how much fun they're having practicing. And I just don't remember a time where that's true in any era. I'm talking about, and I'm not being specific to Jimbo, or I'm saying practice is always hard. I think it's kind of cool that these guys are having fun practicing. There's nothing out there that says you can't. You can't get better. You can't improve. It can't be hard and yet still fun, right? You can do all of those things. And it's fast. It's all those things, but it's also, right now it's shorts and T-shirts and
not 100 degrees out. Yeah.
No, and it's true. I have said for years about these kinds of practices, really any practice that I'm not able to see involving full pads and all of that. There's going to be something lacking. You can't know. You already know going in that Florida State has really good athletes. If none of those athletes are going to be threatened by way of being hit, they're going to run freely, and they're going to exercise those talents in a way that is certainly not inhibited. Everybody's going to look good. Everybody's going to run fast and jump high and make plays and look good doing it. But, once we put on the pads, you see things a little different.
Well, in 2 words, offensive line. Did that bring it back to earth a little bit?
Yeah,
because it does me when I think about it. And hopefully the interior can feature, some combination of Dickerson, and then obviously Eberle's back for his 9th year at Florida State, and then Bavion Johnson.
Just the 9th, though, Tom. Just the 9th.
Right. Well, he didn't redshirt, so he's got a 10th. But then you have Bavion Johnson, too. So I think the interior might be okay here, but we're thin, and we're going to be asking the line to do something different. So who knows what that means for shuffling, and who knows what that means for who fits where. But that's the number one concern. It's again, how does Coach Barnett get the defense playing? Are they able to flash that athleticism, even though they're going to be asked for many more possessions in a quicker amount of time? And the offensive line, can you carry the day? Can we establish the dive? That's going to be the new thing, right?
It continues to disturb me, though, that Bavion Johnson remains so injury-prone. And, here you go. He's aggravated that knee injury, and now you wonder what you're going to get from him, because that's what we've been talking about a lot with him is potential. And, I know Naquan will be fine when he comes back. And like you mentioned, there's already a lot of talent out there at wide receiver. But there isn't a depth of talent. You have just 3 scholarship receivers right now. You love Tameron Terry, Keith Gavin, DJ Matthews. They're all good. But, man, given the way they're practicing, we are awfully thin.
It's too bad Maven Saunders decided to go to Kansas. I think he might have liked this kind of practice and offensive format and
Bizarre.
All that kind of stuff.
He
worked with the receivers anyway under Jimbo.
Just bizarre. Come back, wrap it up. We'll do so with another mention, dare I say, of Florida State basketball. It may just come up in the topic of conversation to conclude the show.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Seven 11-22.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty is here. With new beauty steals every day, it's beauty's biggest event, which means it's also beauty's biggest makeup bag makeover event. And beauty's biggest, is that price real, event. And beauty's biggest, well, you get the point. At Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty, every day is a new chance to get up to 50% off our most loved brands, like IT Cosmetics, Tarte, and more. But the event ends April 7th, so hurry in to binge on beauty only at Ulta Beauty.
Bagel Market and Bistro congratulates the Noles men's basketball team on being elite. Order online today at thebagelmarketandbistro.com. Go Noles! Beat the Wolverines.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What an opening night of the Sweet 16 last night. An 11 seed Loyola Chicago, 9 seed K-State, and 9 seed Florida State all pull off the upsets to advance to the Elite Eight. It's the first Elite Eight in NCAA tournament history with at least 3 teams seeded 9th or lower. The only favorite to reach the Elite Eight is our next opponent, as you saw with Michigan blowing the doors off of Texas A&M 99-72 in a game that was never close. A&M got treated shabbily.
Well, we've been the underdog in every game so far, so that's A-okay by me.
Yeah, no, why not?
Keep playing them late and keep being the underdog.
Duke and Syracuse. If Syracuse beats Duke, I'm going home. We're just done here. Syracuse is going to win the national title.
Syracuse, Florida State, a rematch, a double overtime in Tallahassee for the national title.
Crazy.
I don't think so because K has adopted Boeheim's 2-3, and that's what saved their season.
Yeah.
Took it from very good to championship caliber.
Yeah, I like Duke or Villanova to win the national title, and I've been saying that for a while. But anyhow, I can't be concerned with all of that right now. I hope whatever happens in their games that they're exhausted, that everybody is tuckered out.
Well, that bracket is exhausting.
It is. It's not easy, right? The remaining 1 seeds each play tonight. Villanova in the East, Kansas in the Midwest.
You know what's hard about Saturday in particular? And you were right. I said this before, but I wasn't nervous for this game. Once it tipped, I wasn't nervous. I was just kind of tickled.
Yeah.
That we were,
hey, we're playing this game, yeah.
Right. But we're going to watch an 11 or a 9 advance to the Final Four in front of us. So, it's an 11 or a 9 that we would face. And so when you're playing Michigan, you're thinking, God, if you just can get through here, you've got an even fight. Michigan may be better, and certainly they are playing better than us right now.
Yeah, if you beat them.
But if you can get through this one, it ain't crazy to be playing for the whole damn thing.
And in one night, one time,
one shining moment.
It can happen. You can play crazy above your head and take home a title. This is what an appearance in the Elite Eight does. It causes you to have what feels like an irrational conversation about what's possible. And yet, having said that, it's not crazy just because of the way things have played out. This is the first Elite Eight with 3 teams seeded 9 or lower. The highest combined seeds in the Elite Eight is 40. That happened 1990 and 2000. A win by Clemson over Syracuse on Friday. That's today. This will break that record. And, again, this is just downright silly.
Right.
And this is the game. Don't you feel like that and or the championship, if you get there, like you feel like if you can win tomorrow night against Michigan, I may cry.
Yeah.
We could go play for the national title.
It's Bucks-Eagles 2002.
Right.
We went through this.
Yes.
It's Bucks-Eagles 2000. It's the same thing. You know that they're going to bring it, and you know that, out of 10 nights, they probably are better 6 or 7 of them. But that doesn't matter because we are capable, and I've said this all year, and I'm going to continue because maybe it's good luck. We are capable of the highest of highs, and we are also capable of laying an egg tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when we play, and with the trending of the depth and the defense, too, which are new things in the equation, we are capable.
Well, the new version of a team that has fully embraced, again, the defensive principles and played with that intensity is a thing that makes us a terrible matchup for anybody because we are long and we are athletic and we do have depth. And so if we're going to defend, we're going to cause you problems.
It's a combination of the eras. That's what's happening right now, is the old era meets the new. We'll see how long it can go for, but that's...
gives me the willies in a good way. Just, my goodness gracious. Gives me the linnies.
Gives you the teddies.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Oh, my fellow Noles. Let it be true that I join you on a Monday with talk of a Final Four matchup. What in the hell? Have a great weekend, everybody.